Today in London, tensions continue to increase between the metahumans called X's and normals. Communities fear the X's powers, citing multiple violent incidents and an underlying fear that the X's will take over society. Retribution and reprisals are on the rise, and violent clashes occur with growing frequency. This is Gene X, a Happy Jacks RPG podcast actual play in Cortex Prime. Hello.
Hello.
Hi.
And welcome to Gene X.
We're here again.
Yay! After a short hiatus.
Let the joy begin.
This is Volume 1, Issue 5 of Gene X. And, I am Jib. I'm your GM. And we have some players. We'll start over here.
Sweet. Hi, I'm Abria. I'm your friendly Algerian Alamancer. Fiza Benyamina.
Not friendly.
So friendly. Ask Lance. Soup's friendly.
So good.
Point.
I'm Mike, and I'm playing Constable Simon Guthrie, your favorite good boy.
Such a good boy.
Such a good boy.
Yeah.
My name is Jim, and I'm playing Professor Edison Cornwall, your gravity master guy.
And I am Kimmy. I'm playing Colleen O'Connor, who is an empath.
Sweet. And we had some stuff happen last time. There were shenanigans.
Such shenanigans.
And
Very good.
And our Abria has provided us with scripts again.
I have a question first.
Yes.
Do we want to do mechanics and then do the mechanical changes and then do the story recap before we get into the story?
We can totally do that.
I like that.
That's a
So,
good idea.
we're going to make some mechanical changes and do some things just a little bit differently because I felt like in going back and watching some of the previous episodes that we had some things that really didn't contribute narratively to what you guys were doing, and they weren't things that seemed to really matter to you. So what we're going to do is we're going to drop out a couple of things. We're going to drop out attributes and affiliations. And so that's going to leave us with distinctions and, thank you.
Relationships.
Distinctions,
clean sheet.
relationships, powers, values, and assets. And so that means that if you're doing something and not using a power, you're going to be rolling 3 dice at a base. And if you're using a power, you're going to roll 4 dice. You don't have to spend anything to use those. And if you have an asset that you're going to bring into play narratively in what's going on, you'll be rolling 5 dice.
Cool.
For your pool. And that there is no plot point expense for any of that. If you want... Now, we're also going to change distinctions and relationships, and if you have not applied points to raise them, or I have not told you to raise something narratively, it's going to be a D8 for distinction or relationship. Heck, can't talk.
I'm going to take that back.
Yep.
That's the right thing to say.
Absolutely. Thank you. I actually have somebody who's forgot to get them out.
All good.
And the thing is that if a distinction or relationship is going to work in your favor, you're going to roll a D8 or whatever the die that we've assigned to it is. Or if it's going to work against you in this moment, you're going to roll a D4.
Okay.
If you roll a D4, you get a plot point.
Okay.
And that is entirely your call. It's entirely up to you whether that works for you or against you in that moment.
Okay.
So, you could have you could say that my relationship with Colleen right in this moment, it's causing me difficulty in this particular moment. I'm going to roll a
I
D4.
don't know why you picked me for that.
Because you two are sitting closer to me.
Oh.
That's all.
You're a pain in my ass.
I'm a total typical bitch.
So, also, if you want to reframe a distinction, feel free to do that. We will absolutely do that.
Okay.
And the best distinctions should be double-sided. So something that could be a benefit or something that could be a problem. Okay? The other thing we're going to add is that your powers have conditions. So if the condition applies, and again, this is up to you. If you say that in this moment, based on the circumstances going on around you, that your condition is going to trigger, then it's going to cause something to happen. And usually what it'll be is it might put some kind of limitation on your power. I'm going to use Simon as my example because he's the one I wrote up. He has electrical powers. So a condition might be, problems with water. And if it's, raining heavily or you're like submerged in water or something like that, the condition might very well apply. And what it would do is it would have some effect on the dice that you use. So, for example, in the case of that one, the way I wrote it up, it causes you to step your result die down one type. So if you would normally roll a d10, you'd roll a d8. But because water's a conductor, it steps up your effect die.
Okay, cool.
Okay, so yeah, something along those lines. And if you don't have those, if you don't have something for that, that's fine. We'll add them narratively as we go.
Cool.
We'll add them just as we go. The same is going to be true of assets.
Okay.
Assets will have can get special effects that go with them. And the way the rules for Cortex are set up, you can unlock them. So the fact that we haven't had them doesn't really hinder us. It's just going to add interesting stuff. And it's, again, like I said, we're going to add them narratively as we go, and things come up in game.
Cool.
And so it's like if at any point something occurs to you that we're talking about, and you go, that would make a good special effect for this asset.
Got it.
Bam.
Perfect.
Do it.
50.
Nice.
Okay.
Neat.
And again, usually those things are going to affect the dice. And in all cases, if you do something that causes you to downgrade a die for some reason, plot point.
Yay.
Nice.
The other objective, the objectives of what we're doing here is to streamline the game, focus on the things that matter to us in our game, and to put acquiring plot points more completely in your control.
Cool. Sweet.
That make sense?
Yeah.
Does that work?
Does the mechanic of stepping something down one die to receive a PowerPoint still apply, or are we just simply doing the?
It absolutely still applies.
Okay.
So if at any point you want to step down a die, you can do that. That's just the mechanics of the game. Usually your conditions or distinctions or relationships, there'd be a narrative reason for it, because it's triggering something. But again, like I said, the same thing applies. If you step down a die at any point in time, you get a plot point for that. Cool. That's it. That's the whole mechanical change.
I'm going to need reminders, but
Sure.
awesome.
Yeah.
So
Same.
you're going to build a dice pool. You're going to start with a distinction and a relationship, and
A value.
Those are going to be the first three things you're going to do. If you're using a power, add a die for that. If you're using an asset, add a die for that.
Nice. Okay.
Cool.
Okay.
If using power and an asset.
You end up with 5 dice in your pool.
Jam it all.
Tight.
Is
Yeah.
there any payment
Maximum
for that,
effort.
or-
Yeah.
Nope.
Okay.
By the way, I really like the sheet. You did a good job.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Very clean.
Yeah.
Thank you. So those are our mechanical changes.
I also have a form fill version if anybody wants it.
Nice.
Cool.
Because I
There's
hate
no
my.
room for Edison's beautiful picture.
I hate. Yeah. I'm gonna have to put it on the back.
Buddy.
I'll fix that, and I'll send you another copy.
Wait, I want that because I can only
Bonus.
cast mine. So check the place
So
to honey.
just
a good
real
place.
quick for the assets,
Nice.
the special effects that have been added.
Uh-huh.
So did I miss? I may have missed one.
Yeah, that was the. Those are basically things about that key off of the asset.
Right. So here's an example. If you had a credential for getting into like a secure location,
Yeah.
okay, when you use it, you step up. You step up the die for that thing, but you gain the condition traceable.
Okay.
Okay, and then if you fail on the dice, if you then roll and fail, that traceable becomes targeted, and it steps up
Gotcha.
because someone has taken note of the fact that you've used that asset.
Okay.
Does it make sense? And again, it's kind of like a narrative thing that, you know, when something comes up that makes sense to make it a special effect, we will add it.
Okay.
If something occurs to me while we're playing, I'll say so, but it's totally your call.
Cool.
Alrighty,
So,
so we have scripts.
yeah.
Oh,
Sweet.
sweet.
All right. Classes on. Colleen,
Here, we're
you're
going to
up.
stop for just 1 second.
No. Ooh, I'm super tan.
You are so super tan. Yeah, no. I am not seeing that we're streaming for some
Oh,
reason.
noes.
I don't know if that means, sometimes it says that and we are streaming.
But, like,
But we recorded all of that, so it's there, so don't worry about that.
Cool.
Okay.
I can open Twitch on my phone.
Yeah, do you
Yeah,
want us to
that would
try
be
that?
super helpful.
Twitch is not saying that we're streaming.
All right, let's try to mess with something for a minute.
Yeah, it says we're hosting
Oh, good.
Shackled City.
That's awesome. That's very helpful.
That's fine.
Just providing information.
It's fine the way Mike says it.
Well, I mean, it doesn't really distress me, except that, you know, I mean, we'd rather be streaming, but
I'd rather be streaming. Sorry, guys, 1 second.
Hey, technical difficulties. It
Oh,
happens.
God. Your
dislike
dice tray is
them.
phenomenal.
I know you look so together right now.
I'm so proud of it. I spent so much time yesterday, like,
on it.
selecting, and, like, it's my Raven one.
sweet.
So good. And then these are the dice for this game and my PBTA games, and then this is, like, the L5R tray on the outside. I'm sorry, I'm distracted.
I'm very into it.
I spent way too much time last night going
Very
through
cool.
my dice and hand-picking, like, my favorites at the moment. It's pretty fun.
No, I'm into it. It's very good.
So I guess, like, I'm wondering, okay, so my electrifiable net, like, what would be so, like, I can zap that with some electricity to make it good.
Uh-huh.
But, like, how would a special effect apply?
Well, water would be too easy for the net, in my opinion.
Yeah.
So I'm going to suggest it's electromagnetic. So on metal, it has some weird effect on
Someone's
electromagnetic.
wearing, like, metal armor or...
Yeah.
Yeah.
It might short out. Yeah, it's up to you. I'm just throwing out ideas.
No.
It could short out. It could. Shorting out is easy. It wouldn't make sense. I could see it. Where basically what I would do at that point is say that, okay, here, when it comes into contact with metal, it you step up the result die
Yeah.
and step down the effect die.
Yeah. Okay. Cool.
I like that.
Because it's more tangly because it's grabbing onto the metal because it's electromagnetic, but it's also shorting out,
Yeah.
so it's
not powerful.
less electrical.
Yeah. Cool. I dig it.
Cool. And we're back, I think.
Yay!
Sweet.
I think we just got notification. So thanks for the awesome rules update jib that we just did. So if you didn't hear that, check
You have
out
to go
the
download
YouTube
this and
video
listen.
and listen to the podcast.
Womp womp.
Right? Is that the notifications everybody's got?
Yes.
Okay, good. All right,
Yep.
Fantastic. And the podcast listeners will be none the wiser. So, time for the recap.
Hooray!
Time for recap.
Recap time. Colleen, you're up.
All right.
Whenever you're ready.
I'm totally ready right now. Wait, why am I? Oh yeah,
Very first line.
previously on Gene X.
Exterior, British countryside day. Our four heroes stand confused in the middle of a sunny field with rolling verdant hills in the background. The sound of charging hooves turns them, and we see several knights on horseback riding towards them on the attack. The werewolf is also there and about to pounce on Colleen, but Simon shock tackles him first. Faiza looks overconfident as she steps towards the knights, but then realizes they are an illusion when her powers fail to unseat them. Fuck this Dungeons and Dragons nonsense. Where am I? Suddenly, the scene begins to shift again to an inky blackness filled with galaxies. Before it resolves, we see Edison, eyes tightly shut, throw out his hands. The sound of bodies slamming into detritus within the warehouse heralds the return of the fight to reality. Exterior, warehouse, night. Quick flashes of the end of the fight. The werewolf flees after Colleen's psychic post-Simon breakup sorrow attack. Faiza fails yet again to land a hit when she attempts to run the incorporeal banshee through with metal shrapnel. Simon runs to a wounded Colleen.
Are you okay?
Colleen pushes him away. The camera pushes in on her eyes, still haunted by the feeling she tapped into from her psychic attack.
Ooh. And Sparky, go help the others.
Simon runs into the warehouse and frees the bishop, bringing him outside to the triage clearing where Sam has carried Colleen, and Faiza orders her security detail about with Lance by her side. Edison is conspicuously absent. Colleen uses her power on the bishop to calm his nerves and looks perplexed when she senses that he is not as afraid as he's letting on. Faiza attempts to pull on the iron in the bishop's blood to increase the bleeding from his wounds, because she's petty, and is startled when it fails to work. Worried her powers are broken, she attempts the same on one of her injured security detail and nearly exsanguinates him. Exterior, warehouse, day. Birds chirp in the gray light of early morning as the camera pushes in on the nearly destroyed warehouse. A bush rustles, and the camera shifts focus to Edison slowly pulling himself up to standing. He holds his head gingerly and looks around, slowly realizing he's been left behind in the aftermath of the battle. He looks obviously shaken as he pulls out his phone.
The past few days' events have rattled me. I thought perhaps it might be a good idea to spend some time away. I also wanted to extend the invitation for you and the rest of the group to join me at Carclo House.
During the voiceover, we see our four heroes' fragile emotional state. Insomniac Faiza sits at her desk and pops several prescription pain pills. Simon looks panicky as he packs a bug-out bag. Colleen nurses yet another hangover, and Edison cuddles his dog. Exterior country manor day. Faiza's Bentley pulls up to an estate right out of Downton Abbey, and a fleet of waiting servants receive Simon, Faiza, Colleen, and Lance. In the salon, the four heroes enjoy a cocktail, though Colleen looks awkward and nervous. Cut to exterior country manor bedroom suite day. Oh, sorry, that should be interior. Establishing shot of the room with ensuite bathroom door open and shower Colleen singing special sound effects. Simon walks in as Colleen enters from the bathroom wearing a towel and still singing. She yelps and sprints back into the bathroom as Simon turns around, bright red.
Sorry, I thought this was my room.
It's very confusing. They put us in the same room.
Now dressed, Colleen and Simon look out of the window at Edison, Faiza, and their hunting party shooting grouse on the grounds.
It's been complicated seeing you again.
It's been complicated for you. It didn't seem that complicated 3 years ago when you decided to leave and not talk to me again.
Prelapse crack of gunfire. Oh, sorry, it should be prelap. Cut to exterior country manor grounds day. The camera is zoomed on Faiza's gray eyes staring down the barrel of a rifle. I shot it in the heart. Cut to interior country manor theater night. Edison stands behind a podium and gives a PowerPoint presentation to the group on their current situation. We see slides of Super Nintendo Chalmers, the phrase Semper Vigilance, with a photo of the medallion, and Bishop Bowen. Lance hands Edison a plastic baggie containing bloody gauze. A brief flashback shows a field medic holding gauze to the side of Bishop Bowen's head. A flash forward shows Edison handing the gauze off to Ophelia, a young woman in a room full of lab equipment.
You may have a future in this. I'd like to have that by the end of tomorrow. Try not to contaminate the sample.
Ophelia looks offended at the suggestion.
We're building trust. It takes time.
As Edison speaks the last line, we see a shot of the pair of them as Edison pats Ophelia's head. Then a shot of Faiza and Lance standing very close to each other as they work on a tablet. Then a shot of Simon and Colleen speaking together in a hallway. And finally, Edison, Colleen, Faiza, and Lance sitting together in the conservatory late at night playing music together. Fade to black.
Sweet! And by the way, fans who do fan art, I would love to have a picture of that jam session. That would be awesome.
Oh my god, right?
That would be
Please
great.
make art of this thing.
So, if it's all right with you guys, what I'd like to do is jump to the next morning.
Ooh, yeah.
Cool.
Okay?
Faiza's in bed with Lance. Just
Really?
kidding.
No. I'm like, are you?
Maybe.
I'll roll for it.
No, but I think we see Faiza waking up in bed alone.
She actually got to sleep, so that's exciting for her.
Yes, she actually did sleep
Yeah.
last night. The country air must be good. Must be
Nice.
good for her.
Yay!
I think the first thing we're going to note is, because I think Pfizer, stop me if I go awry here, I think the very first thing that Pfizer probably does upon waking up is check her phone.
Yep. Oh God,
It's
it's
been
like in her hand.
It's been turned off.
What? She it takes her a little bit too long because she doesn't know where the power button is because she's never had to use it, and turns it on. Is it charged?
Oh yeah, it comes right on.
What? Who did this? You just hear her.
I did, Mom. And Lance comes in carrying a tray with full English breakfast.
It's very nice.
And
You rip his bones out.
Yeah, exactly.
he is, as always, immaculately dressed. Smells faintly of chlorine.
This dude. All right.
That's hard.
Sorry.
That reached through the fourth wall.
In his face.
It's like a decade of swim team. Just like, all right, continue.
I appreciate the initiative you took. If you ever turn my phone off again, I will unmake you.
I have all of your messages, Mom. There were only 3.
Leave the food. Thank you.
Of course, Mom.
You enjoy this, don't you? Just yells at him as he walks away.
And I think the panel we have of Lance as he leaves the room as he whispers, immeasurably.
I'm going to kill him. I'm going to kill him in the countryside and leave his body to the dogs.
You're going to sex kill him.
Yeah.
Death by snoo snoo.
Definitely snoo. Yeah, probably.
So,
Yeah, cool. So she looks over at the English food is disgusting. So she just picks around it, gets 2 good things off of it, and jumps back on her phone.
okay. If English breakfast is not what she would want, then it's what she would have wanted for breakfast.
Okay.
Because Lance would have made absolutely certain that it was what she wanted for
Okay.
breakfast.
Sweet. All right. Well, then how about she pretends to look gross English, and then she's like, "Oh man, I can mug down on this sausage right now," and waits for him to leave, and then tears it apart.
Love it.
Cool.
Love it. So then I think we jump to Edison,
All right.
waking up in his
My room.
room.
Yeah.
This has been your room since you were. I think it's probably not the room you had when you were a child, because that would have been called the nursery.
Right.
But you would have moved to an adult room.
Yeah, and I had an older brother.
And you had an older brother.
Yeah. I mean, I have a grown-up room with a grown-up bed. I don't sleep on a bed that looks like a race car or anything like that.
Why not?
Because no.
It's cool.
The weird thing about Edison is that he was never really a kid.
Yeah.
But yeah, so he wakes up, and basically there's a rope by the bed. He gets up and he pulls the rope, and the butler comes in, immediately has my robe, which I put on, and then I head over and I basically start brushing my hair. I brush my teeth.
He has your clothes laid out,
and then take a shower. And then I get into my morning clothes, and I go downstairs for breakfast.
When you go downstairs, Ophelia is still in the lab, or back in the lab. She's in the lab.
And my God, girl, do you sleep?
Occasionally.
And I go, lack of sleep kills brain cells. We need all of them that we have. No more, no less. You cannot regenerate those. Please make sure you are getting rest.
Oh, of course, Professor. I have the analysis you wanted.
At that, he immediately just sort of perks up and goes, "You do? Lovely." and he basically sits down and starts looking over whatever she has.
And this was blood from
Bishop
Bowman.
Yeah, this is Bishop Bowen's head wound.
The notable thing right off the bat is that he absolutely has the X factor in his genetic, because she has done a gene sequence on him, which you really can't do in 12 hours. But this is a comic book, so
Exactly.
Yeah.
and we have super science.
Indeed. He's reading it, and getting information to Edison is kind of like makes him giddy happy all the time. So he's like reading it and he's looking through it, and he looks, and then he starts realizing what it means, and his mood begins to sort of darken at that point. And he goes, "The consequences of this might be dire. I would assume also that whatever information is discovered and whatever information is exchanged in your presence, I can count on your confidentiality.
Oh, of course, Professor.
My dear, I think that we have a very, very good future together, and I look forward to our days of work."
You're not supposed to be nice to them right away.
The easiest way to describe this is that her smile is radiant.
Aw.
Gross. She's gonna get sloppy.
That's okay.
You've done well here, and why don't you join me for breakfast? Perhaps something to eat would do you good.
Thank you, Professor.
Come along, then.
She does.
So we go off to basically, I usually have breakfast in the garden when it's sunny out, so it's probably already laid out for me.
It is. Full English?
Yeah, absolutely. Especially extra blood pudding, because I love
Fiza picked around that part.
it. Love it. But, just generally sit down in the nice sort of garden furniture and everything, and cross my legs, put my napkin over myself neatly, make sure that Ophelia sits alongside, serve its pour some tea, and the London Times is also ready for me, and I start reading through the London Times. After all, the point of this entire thing was to relax.
Right.
And but you can tell during the entire time as he's trying to, after the 5 minutes that he takes to do the crossword puzzle, that his mind is distracted by thoughts of what those test results were. And he, when he finishes breakfast,
It didn't take you 5 minutes to do the crossword puzzle. It took you 3.5 minutes, because when you started doing the crossword puzzle, Ophelia scooted her chair over right next to yours and helped you.
That is adorable. Aww. Damn you, Jib.
So what's most important to note is that every time Ophelia does something familiar, friendly, affectionate, or kind, he immediately stiffens up.
Right.
And doesn't know how to deal with that emotionally, so he sort of like tries to pretend that it doesn't happen and moves along. But there's definitely a lot of tension around him when that happens.
Right.
But after we
And for her part, Ophelia acts like that moment of tension did not happen.
all right, so we have an understanding. Very good. After we finish breakfast, I will excuse myself and I'll immediately try to find Constable Guthrie.
Okay. So I think we'll jump over to Constable Guthrie. So I have a question for Constable Guthrie.
Yeah.
In that, gray dawn, half sleeping, before you actually wake up, what is Simon Guthrie dreaming about?
Oh gosh.
Blue eyes, black hair.
No, badges.
I think
Badges and
Badges.
uniforms.
Justice.
Medals.
Because I know what you're going to be awakened by.
I think he's reliving the fight at the warehouse,
Uh-huh.
Oh.
except he wasn't able to save anyone and everyone else is dead.
Ooh.
Oh.
That's grim.
Yeah.
Nice.
That's
Dark.
grim.
Well done.
Like
Okay.
he's running around trying to, but like as soon as he gets to them, everyone's already been.
What is Simon's ringtone for text?
Well, just a simple note.
Okay.
The standard.
Right. So the sounds of the fight and the aftermath of the fight,
Is your switch on?
just as I think the werewolf
Yes.
we see the claws slash of the werewolf, in Simon's dream.
Yeah.
That is interrupted by the bell tone of a text message.
Sure. Simon's gonna wake up and he's gonna it's gonna be like one of those "Where am I right now?"
Right.
Like, this is unfamiliar. What's going on? And then check. And then after a minute you realize where you are. But checks the phone.
Okay. There's a text from your father.
Ugh.
Ooh.
Okay. That's sure.
Amazing.
He'll open that up and read that thing.
The short version of the text is berating Simon for being derelict in his duty by running around with these X's. But he doesn't say X's. He said these people, and that he is being an embarrassment to the family, and that you had better not be taking up with that girl again.
Yeah. Simon's gonna read this and I'll start trying to type a response and type and delete and it's like a lie, no, of course not, and then a delete, and it's gonna put it down. Can't
Okay.
at the moment.
Cool. Awesome. The countryside is disturbingly loud.
Really? Yeah.
Because you're a city girl.
Yeah, no. Oh, yes.
So, the sounds of the city, the honking horns and the traffic, and everything, it's all soothing. Mm-hmm. Those damn birds, though?
Well, it's also this eerie emptiness because I'm used to having to
And there's
focus on
usually there's
keeping
stuff all
emotion
around
out.
you.
Oh, yeah.
So it's this empty, achy,
Right.
there's nothing around here. It's weird and it puts me
It's
on
like a
edge.
hollow.
Yeah,
all around you.
exactly.
Oh, man.
So I'm used to an apartment complex and
I think that in the in the hollowness of the countryside, what you hear are the echoes of your own emotions.
that's very appropriate and awesome and I like that very much.
So I'll give you an extra one of these.
Thanks.
How many did you have to begin with?
I don't have my old character sheet. I don't know. I think I had 2. Yeah.
We'll go with that.
I had two.
Nice.
How many did Fiza have?
I burned both of mine in the love letter. Thanks.
I had dose as well.
Sweet. Excellent.
Should not have reached. Should have had you hand that to
Oh,
me.
God damn it. Stop doing stuff.
Yeah,
You made
no.
me drop a die.
So, yeah.
So, yeah.
And I think that wakes you up. And the air is very fresh and very
Gross.
not smelling of automobile exhaust
Yeah.
and petrol
Yeah.
and things like that.
I don't think Colleen slept very well. For one, I think she did a lot of pacing around her room. The bed makes her very uncomfortable. And I think she did
Very
the thing
soft.
cinematically, if this was a movie, she did the thing where she would walk to the door and then turn around and walk away
Yes.
to the door. And walk to the door. And even at one point, the middle of the night, she probably actually opened the door and started walking across the hallway. And then did the downtown. Oh no, I can't do that. And then turned back and went back in her room and shut the door behind her. And then got in bed and was no, they're okay, never mind. And just tried to sleep and tried to do whatever on her phone.
Did Simon hear Colleen's door open in the middle of the night?
Nah. He was sleeping.
Okay. That's fine. That's totally fine. I'm just curious. Awesome. Cool. So going back to Edison for a minute.
There's one thing that I wanted to do before I went to go see Simon. And that on my way up, I'm going to grab a notebook
Sure.
from my room, and I'm going to leave it in the lab on Ophelia's desk. And that is basically the book I'm writing that is the definitive treatise on everything we know about gravity and my new theories.
Oh, sweet.
And it says, please read, edit,
Okay.
give feedback. Thank you, Edison.
Okay. Awesome.
He's going by first name.
That's so good.
Awesome. I love it. I love it. Okay. So in the you were reading the newspaper earlier, so I wanted to touch on a couple of things real quick. This morning, because why not? Even though it's the weekend, but this morning, the most recent attempt to pass the X-Registration Act that would make X-Registration mandatory has failed by one vote in Parliament. There is a fair amount of vitriol from the pro-registration side
Right.
against a particular member of Parliament whose name is Lord Sperling, because apparently he flipped sides suddenly.
Bad guys
voted.
get shit done.
Define bad.
Yeah, exactly.
Or on the
to
side
the
that has
landslide.
seen the other
Yeah.
episode.
Go
and
see
that
it.
hasn't.
Go watch the
Yeah.
one-shot Saturday episode that says G-Nex in it. Or
Faiza
don't.
imagines
You'll
Lance
understand.
with a
You'll
goatee.
understand.
And if you want to pick up on a whole bunch of other stuff, please go to the forums
Yes.
and read the stuff that we've
Oh, yeah.
dropped
Oh, yeah,
there.
we've read
There's a
stuff.
ton of stuff on the
amazing.
forums.
Origin stories.
Origin stories.
All kinds of background
and-
stories.
Oh yeah.
Find out about my poor lesbian mom.
I know.
Cool. So that's kind of the big thing in the news right now today.
Okay.
Okay.
That is a big deal. Okay.
So I'm going to pop back over here.
Sweet.
You finished breakfast, caught up on your communications.
Can Faiza get some video? Like, what did anyone else get video of the scene in the fog in Retribution?
There are on the internet. It's not in the news, but on the internet. There are videos from the scene in the fog.
Okay.
And it's hard to make out anything definitive. And if one didn't know what one was really looking for, it would be really hard to tell much of anything.
Okay.
But because you know what you're looking for, the kinds of things you would be looking for, you can get a lot more detail. Let's let's put some dice down.
Yeah. Cool. I don't know how any of this works anymore.
I like this.
You're going to start with a distinction.
All right. Let's go with too many variables because it's kind of cluttered.
I like it.
Noise.
And is it going to work for you or against you?
Let's go against me.
Okay. Then go with a D4 instead of a D8,
All right.
and I will give you a plot point after you roll.
Thanks.
And then you want to pick a relationship.
None of these apply.
That's right here is the reason why we actually might want to put the attribute back in.
Okay.
So we'll talk about that, but we'll say that it's in for right now. Just
Okay.
so same thing, mental, physical, social.
Yeah. So let's go mental, which is another D8. And she's not using any of her powers. She's just sort of staring into this thing and trying to figure it out. And let's go truth, because she's trying to figure out what's actually going on there.
I think that makes sense.
That makes
Rolling the
super
shittiest dice right now. This is going to be amazing. And none of my other stuff helps.
Okay.
Cool. I'm going to spend a plot point to step my 8 up to a 10.
Okay.
Or actually, you know what?
No, why don't you just roll make
Yeah.
that D4 a D8 instead?
Wait, what?
Because you stepped it down to a D4, and I was going to give you a plot point, but it would have been a D8 otherwise.
Okay. Well,
Yeah,
let's do
because it
that.
pretty much balances out.
Yeah.
Yeah,
All right. Cool.
and you need 11.
You get dice.
There you
Yay!
go.
Holy crap! Sweet.
Dang.
All right, I got a 14.
So you got a 14 with a D6. So you're able to make out
With
with Lance.
Can I give him a plot point for that? That's just for like our friendship.
Surface, like, real in-depth detail would be, it's obscured by the fog.
Yeah.
But you can make out true facts about things.
Okay.
And you see a group of people fighting with armed men, and there are a couple of them are very obviously X's, because one of them looks like a giant werewolf.
Yeah. Huh. Familiar at all?
Familiar at all? Yeah.
A little bit?
Familiar at all?
Oh,
a little
cool.
bit. But not at all acting like the ferocious monster, but is actually being very protective of a young girl, say 13.
Okay.
And just
Interesting. Cool. I also want the shot when you pan back to Faiza to be like, she's on her phone looking at the video, laptop's open with like 8 tabs of like news and everything about the vote, and just like a sausage just hanging out of her mouth. And she's just like, it's like not cute, she's kind of slumped over. No one's looking, and she can be a mess.
sure. In your email is an email from Lance, and it has 3 recommendations for business moves in the Asian market.
Yes. Perfect. Ugh. And you just hear him be like, he's so fucking good. This dude. Stop distracting me. She like yells at the email and goes back to work.
The scent of chlorine just wafts from your
Yeah.
computer. Just faint.
What am I going to do?
And his hair, perfectly coiffed, is slightly damp.
If I had friends, I would talk to them about this. I don't really know what to do here. Maybe I just fire him so I can fuck him. Goes back to work.
Cool.
Yeah.
What's Simon going to do after this text message from your father arrives?
Gonna go find Edison.
Okay. I think you would find Edison coming up the stairs in search of you. I think that makes the most sense.
Okay.
Does that work?
Yeah. I have a manila folder in my hand, and I'm walking up the stairs. Simon, just the man I wanted to speak to.
Professor. Well, I was going to speak to you. What can I help you with?
Why don't you follow me down to my study? We can speak in comfort.
Okay.
Do the walkies.
Do the walkies.
And basically, I lay out the paperwork on the table, and I go. My assistants managed to do a very rapid DNA sequencing on the blood captured from who I assume is the bishop, and I have found clear, definitive proof that he has the X gene. There are clear markers here, and I just pointed out, and
I mean, I'll take your word for it. I obviously have no idea what I'm looking at.
pardon me, I'm sorry, but yes, it's beyond a shadow of a doubt. Whoever this blood sample belongs to is definitely an X.
Does it tell you anything about what his powers could be, or is it?
It's not quite as detailed. The only thing that we've been able to isolate so far is the existence of the average gene code. We haven't really been able to sequence exactly what governs what power is. I have some theories as to what that is, but it's still somewhat unknown.
So why would someone like this be so outspoken against us?
There are several options. 1, self-loathing. 2, perhaps this person is not who they appear to be. 3, he may be working towards some agenda that we do not know. Perhaps becoming himself a target for anti-X, for pro-X violence, and therefore motivating his agenda one way or the other. But nonetheless, the truth is that he is an X and most likely knows it. Whether I do not know how we wish to proceed on this investigation, which is why I wanted to immediately bring that to your attention.
Well, it seems to me like we should have another chat with him.
Well, he seems particularly inclined to be predisposed to liking you, since you did save him and all.
Well, we all saved him a bit.
Yes, but you were nonetheless the face of the rescue, thankfully.
Do you have any... Do you have any contacts in the church we could reach out to? Because I'm not entirely sure I feel comfortable going back to the police.
And why would that be? Since you seem to want to run to tell them everything all the time.
Well, honestly, a lot has happened in the past couple of days, and I'm not sure who to trust anymore.
Well, I'm certain there will be certain questions being raised how we managed to get a sample of his DNA to begin with. But if there is any way to get an older sample of his DNA for comparison, just to make sure that he is who he appears to be.
An older sample? Where would something like that be, do you think?
But you're the member of the government. Don't they keep files on things?
Well, we don't just take people's DNA and store it somewhere. Well, at least as far as I know, I wouldn't.
They do if you're an X, at least if the law passes.
Well, yes, but that hasn't passed yet.
No, it hasn't, but it's very close. And you can tell that Edison is trying to gauge reaction off of that statement. Just
Yeah. Nice.
Well,
I do not know whether we want to... It's probably likely a good idea to give this information to the rest of the group. Although sometimes I'm afraid of the way Pfizer reacts to things.
yes,
No
I
idea what you're saying.
honestly have to say I agree with you on that point. But
Both can
Frankly,
fuck
I find it
yourselves.
terrifying.
That's
Agreed.
fine.
that is why I wanted to come to you first, because, well, Pfizer is terrifying, and Colleen's relationship and I are complicated.
She has many complicated relationships. Yes.
But I
I mean, they're not lying. It's still sometimes true.
it's not untrue. It's
True. Yeah.
I feel like I've been able to accomplish more with you and Pfizer and Colleen than I have as a police officer in the past 2 years. I feel like I've accomplished more in the past 2 days than I have.
I think there are forces at play here that are larger than our current scope.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that working along the margins of the problem would perhaps be far more effective than actually focusing on the center. We are uniquely capable of working around those margins since we are answerable to no one. And we've managed, at least in some small measure, to keep our involvement in this somewhat secret. The fact that...
No hope for me on that front.
The fact that we had a confrontation with another group of X's that seemed to be at least somewhat involved with the current plot. They may know who we are, but we are at a disadvantage. We are mostly public figures. One of us a recording artist, the other one a major player in the industrial scene, and I as an academic, and you as the face of
General?
the police X.
Technically.
You've been on TV.
Yeah. True.
Well, then again, so have I.
Colleen would be
Playing
so
your song-
excited.
They're playing your song on the radio.
I know on the folk music hour on
You're
one
like a
small
totes
channel.
hero, man.
I just
Continue.
I just I don't know that I can burn all those bridges all at once.
It is difficult to put on the line everything that you've worked for your entire life. I understand this. But frankly, all of us are in the same situation in one way or another. I stand to lose much if I lose my position in academia, and which could very well happen depending on the outcome of this situation. And of course, Pfizer is a person of authority, but not at the very tippy top of the food chain. If she seemed inconvenient, if she seems inconvenient to Han Corporation, I'm certain they would have no problem ridding themselves of her.
They could try.
To be honest with you, I think that currently we are in a situation in which Colleen is the only one that has consistently lived through being on the outside, unaccepted, attempting to fit in, finding a role, never truly being of any privilege. What was that my father called them? Bog people.
Yay!
I'm sorry.
Oh, so you do like her.
Took you long enough.
Well, as I said, it's complicated, and I would appreciate that this conversation stay between us for now.
Of course.
We should tell the others, though.
Absolutely.
Cool. So, after waking up and from a somewhat restless night and being awakened by those damn birds and all that fresh air,
I will shoot them for you.
You're very good
I
at
shoot
it.
all the birds. Allowed.
what's Colleen going to do?
Maybe start packing her stuff. She feels very uncomfortable, and I think she's not super excited to spend another night here.
Okay.
There's not a lot to pack anyway.
Okay.
And yeah, I think she's gonna pack and not like carry her bag down, but like be ready to go, and then try and go down and find some food.
Sure. That's not a problem. Young master decided that breakfast would be in the solarium, so they've laid out breakfast for you in the solarium. It's waiting.
The solarium. All right, then. Very good. I could just make some toast or something. I don't need to sit in the solarium. It's all right.
She says, no, it's already ready.
What is a solarium?
Oh, it's right this way.
Oh,
She
all
shows
right.
you.
All right.
It's
Do I need a dress or something? All right, son. All right, thank you.
yeah, it's a solarium.
I know what a solarium
I know
is.
you do. You described it's like sunny and
Oh my God. Killed Jim.
sunny and
Right. Yes.
and they have breakfast and
That's what I'm gonna.
coffee
sit.
and tea
Is that where you
and-
are?
She'll come down and join you.
Okay. I'm sitting by myself. I'm like not eating. I'm waiting.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'm supposed to start eating or wait for people.
oh, they bring and like. Would she want full English breakfast? They bring.
Be our guests.
Not English breakfast. I think she'd want.
Is there something you'd prefer, Mom?
To just have some like porridge or something.
You
Of course.
peasant. And then that's when Pfizer comes in.
You.
I think that works for me.
That's awesome.
You bug people.
And she looks up from. She's
not
explaining
say
to. She's actually explaining to Lance why the Singapore strat is the best one in the group. He was leaning towards a different one, and she's actually taking the time.
Yeah.
To
All right. No, this will be fine. I can eat this. It's fine.
Just what do you
All right.
want? What do you want?
I said I wanted some.
You don't want porridge. What do you want to eat? Not what do you have to eat.
I eat porridge every day. It's very.
Yeah, because
Yes.
you have to, because you're poor.
Right.
It's in the food name.
It's also like This is fine. It's all right. Thank you very much. Do you have money to
What
tip
do
her?
Scottish people eat?
They
She just looks at-
They eat Scottish breakfast.
Haggis.
Okay, whatever that is, can you make that?
I'm not Scottish.
Don't.
What are you?
Irish.
That's different?
It's fine. Thank you very much. Everything's all right. I'll have some.
Upon that revelation, okay, the maid, well, actually wouldn't be a maid, but the servant girl just literally vaporizes from where she is almost immediately. You almost like don't even see her move.
Okay.
She comes back with, and I don't know what a traditional Irish breakfast would be. I'm sorry, but she comes back
Beer.
with a very traditional Irish breakfast.
Much hate today.
With a very
Accurate.
traditional Irish breakfast.
All right. So that I will.
The kind of
happily
thing you
accept.
probably would have only gotten, like
Granny's house.
Granny's house,
Okay.
special days,
Nice.
that kind of thing.
All right. I'm excited to eat that. Okay.
Yeah. And it's really good too.
Yeah. Good. Excellent.
It's pretty similar.
Beer and potatoes.
Bacon, sausages, pudding,
Yeah,
eggs,
it is.
vegetables, potato.
Yeah, I think it's probably
Potatoes. Just
Such
potatoes.
potatoes.
Just
all
like
the
a potato on a
Oh, so it's
plate.
just like a bunch of potatoes. You
I'm
got
Irish.
It.
It's okay
Hey.
for me to say this.
How many potatoes does it take to kill an Irishman?
How many?
None.
Ah,
Potato famine joke. Thank you. Yeah.
Potato famine joke. I got it. It was-
my ancestors fled that. How dare you?
But that's why you're here, and that's why we know you.
No, it's fine.
It's a long time ago, so it's okay.
Longy long.
All right. Anyway, continue.
Potatoes are
Okay,
awesome.
do you look any less like a rabbit right now? Like a scared rabbit about to bolt?
Probably not like a rabbit. I would say like a cat. He's like, no, I'm going to go in a second. Yeah, I'm about to run, but I'm
Okay.
calculated about it.
All right.
Not like wide-eyed terror run, but
Okay,
like
sweet.
calculated planning run.
All right. You're looking...
She's definitely having leaving thoughts though.
Yeah. You're looking better? This is better. I thought you were going to have a heart attack yesterday.
I thought I was going to have a heart attack yesterday too.
Have you calmed down yet?
A bit. Well, and we're not going to be here for much longer. At least, I mean, we got to go back to London.
Why? What do you have to do?
Pretty much. Well, I have things to do.
Mm-hmm.
I have some people I need to meet, actually, that I need to get back to.
And they don't have telephones?
We do. We try not to.
Internet? Is it
They
like
have
some sort
both
of
of those
potato
things.
to potato communication system?
No, but sometimes you don't want to use the telephone or the internet.
With a potato?
What are you planning?
Nothing now. Nothing. But I also just don't feel right here. I shouldn't be here. This isn't right.
I mean, is it the vestiges of empire? Because I get that, believe me. I do.
I could see that you would.
Can I give her one of my plot points? That was awesome.
I mean,
The
it is that, but it just makes me uncomfortable. Like,
You're just like afraid to break something?
well, yes, I can't pay for it if I did.
You wouldn't have to.
Well, depending on what it is.
You wouldn't have. Relax. You're safe.
I'm not safe here.
I need to. Do you want me to kill Simon for you? And she's actually making a joke,
Yeah.
which I don't think she's ever made before.
Colleen, like, I think because of her powers will, like, pause. No, it's a
Yeah.
joke. And you kind of
Yeah.
smirk and smile a little bit. No, if anyone's going to be killing Simon, I can do that myself. But he's a good boy. He doesn't need to be killed. But it's not that, honestly. Like, I can deal with exes. I've done that before. Men exes, not just you. No, like us.
Okay, good.
But no, it's more than that. It's very complicated. But no, it's just not right. Like, I shouldn't be here in this fancy house of the peer of the realm. If someone found out, I mean, it could be a problem. Poor Edison's been trying to be very nice, and it's just not a good idea.
And she like spends a lot of time like kind of just watching you, and takes a longer time than you expected to respond. And she goes, "You're sincere, and that's weirdly altruistic of you. Don't worry about it."
Try and be nice to people all the time. I got Southern. I don't know how that happened.
Crazy. I was just like, I don't understand.
How do people live like that?
Yeah, no wonder you guys are all sad and freak out all the time.
Well, it's one thing for me to take my life into my own hands and take chances with it that way. But me making those choices and then bringing that on someone's doorstep, that ain't right.
Fair enough. Well,
Thank you for the breakfast, though. I would have just
I
had the
had
porridge.
nothing to do. It's they cook. It's what they do.
Right, but you-
look how happy they all
Yes.
look.
I did-
And she like doesn't even gesture towards the servant. She doesn't see them.
I did have a favor I wanted to ask you before perhaps I'm leaving. You're very good at hiding what you're feeling, and that's not something I can do at all. And I was
Well, you
hoping
can.
perhaps you could, I don't know, teach me or talk to me about it a bit or something, or tell me how you do it.
You see Fiza like struggle with like be nice to two different people in one day.
See what I mean? Exactly, just like that.
It's like passing a kidney stone.
Of course. It's in my best interest for you to not leak your emotions everywhere.
Indeed, it
You
is.
have so many.
I do have so many. There's very many emotions.
Why?
It's sort of my thing.
That's fair. Well, leave the good. I don't. What's a sad thing to you? Like Simon, he's a thing that makes you sad all the time. Think
Yes.
about him leaving you for his
Oh.
career.
Like you get a wash.
Yeah. God. Stop.
Gross.
I hate this. Lance, leave the room. Just remember that he's a dumb bloodhound, and it doesn't matter. He doesn't matter. I know.
Kind of smirks a little bit.
Yeah. Just pull it back.
All right.
You know what? Bring me a full Irish breakfast. Just a bottle of whiskey. We're going to get to the bottom of this. And she's going to like sit down with you and pick shots and actually tell you like a lot of her backstory.
Nice.
And some of like the things that have led her towards like, you have to kind of tough it out. Like, and I'll write a post about it later, but it'll be our secret for now.
Perfect. Okay, cool.
Sweet.
Excellent.
And I'm going to add a power because of that, because I haven't filled in all my powers yet. And I'm going to add keep it secret, keep it safe
Yeah, nice.
for a D4.
Okay.
So I have a chance at sometimes not spilling my emotions on everybody.
Cool.
Dope.
Nice.
I like it.
Are you purposefully starting it at a D4? Because I think the minimum you can start.
Yeah,
at
you
is
actually
a
normally
D6.
would start at a D6.
Yeah.
No, I don't want to be super great at it.
That's what I'm
Like it's
saying.
literally been like one conversation.
Perfect.
I should not be good at this yet.
That's fine.
I just wanted to make sure that it was an actual
When
choice.
you
instead
want
of
to bump
something-
it up to a D6, you either need to spend a session point on it
Okay.
or a plot point.
Okay. Cool.
Sweet.
Okay. So
Yeah.
you guys. So I think that you two come into the solarium on the heels of this conversation.
half a bottle
There's
of
like a
whiskey.
half a bottle of whiskey, and there's a little bit of like this weird emotional like miasma around the room.
Is Lance gone?
You told him to be.
Good. And then, like, as you guys walk in, she's like, and don't let me get started about Lance. What are you doing here?
My God, it's 11 a.m.
Oh, thank God it's almost noon. I was worried it was earlier.
Well, it's nice to be judged so early in the morning, isn't it?
This is what I mean. Doesn't matter.
Good morning, ladies. I trust you found your breakfast pleasant.
So good.
It was very nice. Thank you very much.
I am very glad.
She seems super weird with like Edison. Like she seems like awkward around Edison.
Interesting.
I want to go back, wind back in time just a little bit because that's going to come up right now. In your wanderings
Oh no.
in the house last night, you came upon a photograph,
Yeah.
and the person in this photograph is someone that you recognize.
Yeah.
And do we want to go into that for the?
We're gonna go into
audience?
that.
Okay,
We're not gonna explain it. I think we should do that later.
that's fine.
Yeah.
That's fine.
Absolutely, absolutely.
I would have already known who he was though, just because.
Okay, that's fine. Carry
But
on.
seeing that, I think would have.
I just wanted to
triggered
set the frame for that.
It's
Nice.
fine.
Perfect. And now where was I?
And
Breakfast was
the,
great.
the photograph was a photograph of a much younger Edison with another boy who looked much like him but was obviously older.
Yeah.
Would you ladies be
Your
in, in any condition to handle some new information I've uncovered?
Why wouldn't we be?
He just glances at that bottle of whiskey. Very well. So he just puts the folder out and says, the DNA analysis, although quite rapid, was actually quite accurate, and we have determined that the good bishop is much like us, an X.
That's what I said yesterday.
Yes, but I have proven it.
Okay. I have
Science.
no new information. I was right yesterday and I'm right today.
She's right a lot.
That
Thank you.
is essentially correct, yes.
She refills your shot glass. And her own.
Slancha.
Yeah. What are you calling me?
Oh, I
Never
believe
mind.
that is a toast in
Yeah.
the old Irish Gaelic.
Yeah.
You have got to stop doing that. I don't speak bog people. What?
I told you.
Whoa!
It's the two rich people that I told you.
The classicism rampant in the game
She
tonight.
said it. I heard some British people saying that when I was in boarding school. It's probably very
It's
offensive.
probably best you don't say that,
It
yes.
is
Fair enough.
extremely
Nobody
offensive.
asked you!
Yes, quite. It's extremely offensive.
She fills her glass again and just kind of like,
Nonetheless, the good constable and I
sorry.
were having a conversation, and we were discussing what the various options might be as to why that might be the case. Whether he is an Xer working against X's, whether he's trying to create a war between X's and normals, being an Xer himself, or whether he may be some form of imposter sitting on the papal throne.
oh, you mean like an Xer can, like, copy him and make him look like him?
Well, shape-shifting has been a possible ability, or they could just simply be using mundane techniques like makeup. Someone that already, frankly, looks similar could be somewhat altered surgically. There are a lot of options. Nonetheless, I've suggested that maybe we might pool our resources and see if we can find a DNA sample of the good bishop that is significantly older than the one that we've established now, so I can make a comparison. Other than that, we can try to question him directly,
I don't know if that's a good idea.
which may or may not be a good idea. But we are brainstorming. There are no bad ideas in brainstorming.
Maybe I have one idea. It's a long shot, but maybe the bishop has donated blood in his life. That could do it.
Well be.
Can
Maybe
I
I could.
spend a plot point? Was the bishop like an army cleric? That's not the word I want.
Oh, wait. I have an idea.
Chaplain. That's it. Was he an army chaplain before he? Sorry, never
No,
mind.
see, I do
I'll
think-
back it. It's fine.
I
you want
do
me?
think.
Okay.
I might have some contacts who might be able to find something out.
Okay.
It might be through that, too. I don't know.
And I can do a quick search of old
Sorry.
news stories to see.
I'm going
if
to go
there's-
with.
Do the
Don't worry
thing.
about it.
Okay.
I'm going to go with that may very well be true. You may have to find out.
Okay.
You may have to do some hunting.
Let's find out.
I can see if there are any old news stories on him. I can search that very quickly.
Yeah, we all know how to Google things.
I can do a bit more than that.
Yeah, well, by your smug look, is this like a? Do you like jump into the internet like an electric boy?
Yes.
That's
All right,
pretty
well, I'll
cool.
make a phone. Well, I'm going to go make a phone call. Not quite as fancy, but might get us a bit more. We'll see.
Oh, before I forget, and she like pulls out her phone and like starts playing the video, but like doesn't hold it up very steadily. It's the puppy from the time that tried to kill you.
Oh,
It
right.
Killed your stomach.
It's the werewolf.
Yeah. I don't think it's a werewolf because
Probably not.
I don't know. I don't think those are real. I just wanted to throw that out there.
Do you want some more whiskey?
I do.
You blurred your nut.
Sweet. Cool.
See, now that's an Irish
Say it again.
Sláinte.
Sláinte. She drinks a bunch.
That-
Sweet.
She like, yeah.
Yeah. Sweet. I'm sorry for calling you a bog person.
It's all right.
It was very mean.
Yes.
And I've never said sorry before, so that I can't tell if I'm gonna be sick or if I'm just having a reaction to being nice all at once.
I think we're being friends is what we are.
Weird.
It is weird.
Don't look at me. Look away. Good. I have to be mean to someone. You're fine. I'm in your house.
Very well then. Well, I'll leave you all to your business.
What are you gonna go do? What was her name? Ophelia?
I know she is quite occupied. I was thinking of retiring to my study for a while and doing some reading.
Okay.
Why did you do your internet crawling thing?
I want to see it.
Oh my. I'm going to go make a phone call.
So I'll do my thing.
Cool.
So yeah, Simon's thing is he like takes a phone and kind of puts his hand over it like this, and you see like sparks jumping like through his fingers into the phone. And you see like web pages blasting by like
She is so disappointed that you are still standing
at
there.
like that speed.
Oh, that's
Want
cool.
your Wreck-It Ralphie?
That's cool too, I guess.
Why are you disappointed? I don't understand.
Because you thought you were going to jump into
Just
the phone.
zap into
Oh
the internet.
yeah, no, I just zapped the internet a
That's
little bit.
Which would have put those porn searches in a whole different light.
Hey!
Oh my.
So should I go ahead and roll for something here?
Yeah,
Or
yeah.
See if I
Let's
take
build
your-
a dice
I'm
pool.
gonna steal your dice.
Do it.
Dice over here too if you want to borrow.
That's fine. I got some.
So, you
So
know, a distinction? A
I've got
relationship?
distinction, which is at this point I changed some of my distinctions. They're all kind of on a theme now.
Okay.
A theme of protection.
Oh,
Nice.
It's like protecting people in danger, protecting like the established social order, and protecting my reputation.
I like it. I like it.
So right now I'm
That's tight.
protecting my reputation. I'm trying to show off for Faiza a little bit.
Sure.
And technomancy, which was a power I had, and since it's a relationship, since she sassed me, this is
Right.
I've never sassed a day in my life.
Wait, I grabbed another one.
You are sassy pants.
Are we using the?
We're gonna leave
Attributes?
the attributes in because I think it gives
Okay.
us some kind of a
One generic touchstone that
a
will
generic
apply to everything.
touchstone that you can use for you know.
Okay. So this is my mental. Bloop. That is some numbers. That's a 12. And do you want to buy $1?
Do you want to buy $1?
Ugh, that's a D8 for you. So that's 12 with a D8 effect.
Cool. So you are able to find a number of stories about Bishop Bowman. Apparently, he was in fact an army chaplain when he was younger, and he has fundamentally grown up in the church. He grew up. His earliest days were spent in an orphanage run by the church, and when he grew up, he became a priest. And got his education through the church that way. Served in the army as an army chaplain overseas, and has pretty much lived a solitary ascetic life.
Okay.
Are you going to jump in the phone now?
No, I accessed his army records. He was indeed a chaplain in the army, and
Blood type. Everyone
be
in.
positive.
No, and you won't make me.
Nice.
Good joke.
It matches the report from the blood taken from the rag.
Okay, I guess it's the same guy. I don't know. I'm out of options. What's my middle name? Go jump in the. I just want to see. She wants to know how good his ability to snoop around is, because the only records of her middle name are on Algerian hospital documents, from when she was a little kid. Because when she transferred to a boarding school, none of that came with her, and she doesn't use them.
Do you want to chase that?
Yes, I do very much
All right,
want
let's
to do
put
that.
some dice down.
Tell me my middle name
All right.
while I think of a middle name.
I'm going to basically roll the same because
I think this time you need to use your relationship with FISA, though.
I did that before.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm going to step up one of my dice
Ooh.
Okay.
because I really want to show off right now. I really
Sure.
want to show.
I can do things.
Ooh.
That is a 14. Hot diggity. And you want that
That's-
dollar. I call them dollars now.
That's the thing.
Nice.
Okay.
She called them pounds.
You
really
are
crispy.
absolutely able to find FISA's middle name.
Sweet.
Your middle name is
Anais.
Anais.
Yeah. It was the first one. It was at the top of a name generator.
I was going to grab one too.
Oh, sorry, go ahead, you can
No,
do
no,
it.
no, 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 no,
I'll
no,
get it.
no. You
Alright.
pick it. It's your character.
That's fine.
You get to choose. But I did get it.
Witch. And she just starts laughing.
Witchcraft.
Okay. That's pretty good.
Thank you.
This is pretty good. You're pretty good.
Cool.
It
So
starts mumbling in Alderian.
when you go out to make your phone call, we're going to talk
I'm not
about.
going out there yet.
Okay.
So I'm going to go like I'm going to make a phone call.
Okay.
But when Edison goes to his study, I'm going to go and follow him.
Okay. Then
Okay.
you both in passing. You first, and then as you pass the lab, and looking inside, you see Ophelia curled up asleep on like the daybed in the lab with your book. Like, and she's
She's precious.
She is precious. I go in and I put a cover over her.
Oh, this is a theme now.
And then I give her the 3 pats of condescension.
Yes. They're my favorite.
Okay.
And
So-
then go into my study.
Sure. And then you arrive at the study
Yeah.
at some point later than that.
Okay.
I'm basically just looking around at, and it's actually my father's study, and I'm just looking around at all the photographs in the room.
Okay.
Yes.
Edison, I was hoping I could talk to you for a second.
Oh, Colleen, I wasn't expecting you. Please come in.
I just like barely comes in the door, like he stands like right by the door, like shuts the door, but like doesn't come in any farther. I was thinking that I should probably be leaving today, and I wanted to thank you for your hospitality.
Are you standing so close to the door because you want to leave so quickly, or is it because of the immense elephant in the middle of the room?
Probably a bit of both.
Have a seat.
She goes and like she sits on the chair. I don't. You obviously know then, so I'm not sure why you asked me here.
So I can get you away from the city.
Thanks, Jib.
Although I know of your involvement in the Thames House incident, I am not thoroughly convinced that you are to blame. But I have insufficient data to produce a adequate resolution, so I figured we would speak on it, and you can tell me your story, and I can tell you mine.
No one was to blame exactly. None of us planned to have the explosion go the way it did. It wasn't supposed to go like that.
It wasn't.
No.
Then exactly how was it supposed to go?
It was just supposed to be a protest. We were going to deface the front of the building during the first X-registration. Something went wrong, and the explosion ended up being a lot bigger than it was supposed to be. We had the ones who set it and everything, they turned themselves in. We were trying to fix what we'd done. We hadn't wanted anyone to get hurt. That wasn't the point of it.
He basically turns his back to you, and he's looking at a photograph of his brother. Basically, it's him in graduation type attire. It's his graduation from university. And I miss him quite a bit, you know.
Sure you do.
My father misses him far more than I do, I suppose. I'm not exactly the son that he wanted, although Thomas was. I think in some way he probably blames me for it. He blames me for everything. The fact that I'm an ex.
Well, you weren't. You had nothing to do with that day.
The fact that we exist is sufficient enough cause.
No, that's something I'm unfamiliar with. I'm sorry about your brother. It was never supposed to happen, and it was not what we wanted.
My brother was a kind man. He was a good man, a man who wanted to serve his people, as any good British nobleman would want to do. It's all he ever wanted to do, is make people better, make people happier, and improve their condition. I think that he was almost as awkward in this house as you were, honestly. Never felt like he belonged here. He never was comfortable with the trappings of wealth.
Well, he does sound like a fella I'd like.
I think you'd like him quite a bit, actually. I miss him dearly, but I know that there was very little room in his heart for hate. He preferred understanding, cooperation, conversation. He was a consummate politician. He was in the Parliament, House of Lords, served 2 years before he passed. I do not blame you for what happened. I do not blame your organization. I blame certain individuals that perhaps may be misguided and made a mistake.
No, it's one person who doesn't blame him. But thank you for that anyway.
What I'm saying is this. More than anything, my brother and I had a particular talent for taking a bad situation and turning it into something positive. It is a talent and an ability that I've always envied, and I think that more people should have. I think that it is no accident that somehow fate brought you to this door and into my life, despite of these things.
Right.
But I think that I could have done more to help exes. I still can.
Well, that would be much appreciated. You do have a lot to pull.
And you could have done more to perhaps focus people's energies in a more positive way, other than raw vandalism.
It's hard in these situations where people are disappearing and people's lives are being destroyed and no one's even paying attention.
You destroyed my life.
I know. And that's unfortunately was the price of trying to get attention. We got too much of it and the wrong kind. And for that I'm very sorry.
I'm only 24 years old. I have been an educator for 4 years of that short lifetime. I find pleasure in giving people knowledge. So I think that here we both stand in a crossroads where we can both learn from each other. Where I can learn, perhaps, to overcome some of my fears and become more involved in a way that it perhaps would make my brother proud. And perhaps you can learn from me methods of attaining results that might bring less ruin to innocent lives.
Right. Well, that's a lesson that I learned well from your brother and the loss your family suffered. We haven't done nothing like that since that time. We haven't been able to... We've been driven underground. We're still trying to do what we can. But you can rest assured that nothing like that is ever going to be planned again. It hasn't been planned since.
He turns around and he goes, I will never rest assured again. Nothing is stable now.
That is fair. But I think you should think for a moment that that feeling you've got now what most X's have had their whole lives, since the day where they were born.
I am not enraged. I don't know if I'm capable of feeling that kind of anger. It's,
I think you are. But it's good that you're not feeling it now.
I think that my brother would find it amusing if we became friends.
I'd like that, Eddie.
Edison, my mother gave me a full name.
That's a charming name.
Nonetheless, I do not wish you to feel uncomfortable around me. Let's say we're working on it. Fair
Very
enough?
well. Yes, and if you know who I am, and if you know, and you still ask me here, then I'm all right with staying. But could you not say anything to Simon about it?
I'm a poor liar, but I will not broach the subject.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Eddie looks kind of good on you, though. So you're gonna kind of wink at him, like just like friendly, not like
Yeah,
not
no,
like, just like,
exactly. And he goes, he sort of does an exasperated sigh, and he goes, well, I believe you have a phone call to make.
Yes, I do. I'll see you later.
You beat.
All right. So you want to go out and make a phone call?
Yeah, I'm gonna go make a phone call. I'm gonna make sure I'm very far away from.
Emotionally charged gaming. Yay! You rule.
Dang.
Was that for me? Oh, okay, excellent. Thank you.
For you.
Yes. I just didn't hear it click, so I didn't know. Yeah, so I'm gonna go make a phone call.
That was me.
Okay, don't blow into the mic. Somebody just blew like straight into their mic.
I did not mean to. I'm sorry.
Okay, it's okay. Okay. Yes, I'm gonna go outside, like on the drive or in the park or wherever, far away from the house. And I'm going to call one of my assets.
Cool. You don't need to roll to call them.
I don't.
You need to roll if you're going to use them to.
I'm going to use them to see if at any point.
But while she's out there, out in the grounds, she will see that there are people that are armed. All of the groundskeepers here are
good.
ex-Marines.
Oh,
because
excellent.
Nice.
that's what my father is.
Nice.
Right. Sweet. I dig it.
Glad she started to make friends with Eddie.
There's also a. Looks like in the old in the old days it would have been a horse barn.
People still have horses. Like,
I know.
okay, I'm just clarifying.
And they have horses, but this particular building, because it's closer
Okay.
to the house, has been converted into a garage.
Yeah. Aww.
And we're going to talk about that some more in just a minute.
All right. Nice. Well, I'm going to go out there and I'm going to call my contacts
Okay.
at the Army for X Equality, also known as AXE. And
They blew up a truck over the weekend, by the way.
they did not.
They did. It's
It was
true.
a joke.
There's body spray
Body
everywhere.
spray did. Yeah, Axe body spray blew up a truck. Over
Town's
the
going to smell like a 13-year-old
Yes.
boy for the next month.
God, axe penis.
Oh, dang.
I was so thirsty for that as a middle schooler, man.
Oh, you would have known me then.
It was like all the dudes wore axe and all the girls wore fucking like
the
love spell.
the body spray.
Yeah.
Just like the giant things.
Yep.
Yeah. Oh man.
It was the purple Victoria's Secret one. That was hoe spray.
Yes. Yes. Yeah. And the Bath and Body Works stuff.
Yep.
Yes.
Were you a country apple bitch or a cucumbber melon bitch?
Cucumber melon.
Yeah.
I'm trying to remember the
Basic.
X names. It was just like
I only remember Phoenix. That was the blue one.
Oh yeah.
Bro fume, as I like to call it.
That's very good.
All right.
boy rage.
Banana.
Yeah.
Misogyny.
Yeah. All right. So yes, I'm going to call them and I'm going to see if at any point, because obviously the bishop has known for a while that he's an X. If at any point he like reached out to any X groups, like when he was maybe like a teenager, like trying to find support groups, see see if we can find any information that he, or if activists have been following or trying to get information on him because he's been so vehemently anti-X.
Okay.
So just like, what does the X-activist community know?
Right. Let's put some dice down.
Okay.
Do it.
So I'm going to use chip on my shoulder because I don't like that guy. I don't think I'd use any relationships.
You can use an attribute instead.
An attribute? Okay, I will use social.
Okay.
And I'm not using any powers because I'm making a phone call. And I'll use justice. So, yes.
Okay.
And I'm using my asset too for D6.
Okay.
Ooh. That's not very good. That's a
Rainbow Boys, you
Yeah.
stepped your game up.
10. I know, right? They did really well all weekend. God
Are they tired?
damn it. 10 with a D10.
Your dice got concrete.
Oh,
I rolled too well this weekend. They're out of juice.
they're just a little sleepy.
Now I'm back in the table right here. This is what it is.
It was all those 20s in that Laughing Moon game.
Oh my god. No, that was
So many D20.
freaking Stu
crit,
was
crit.
Nice.
All right, sorry.
So what'd you get?
10 with a D10.
Okay.
The other thing. Effect.
Kicker.
Thingamajigger.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's not very good. That's okay. That's fine. Yep.
They don't have anything immediately.
Okay.
But
I'm just excited I got to use them. It's okay.
they are very excited to hear from you.
I'm sure.
And
Everything's fine.
they appreciate those new recruits that you sent.
Thanks. Well, keep a good eye on them. They're a little jumpy, but they'll be good.
Sweet.
Cool.
Nice.
So,
Fiza's firing Sam.
Excellent.
okay.
Could she have just like gotten off the phone with someone at Han that was like, get rid of him? Just like,
What?
finally.
Why though?
Oh, yeah.
for reasons.
That's actually
Because?
easy. They have not been in presence at all since you came out here.
Oh, I thought they came out with me. Are we retconning that?
Yeah, because
Yeah,
I
they
set
came out.
aside quarters for her.
Oh, that's right. You
security.
did. No, okay. They'll pack up and go.
Sweet. All right. Well, you can go say bye to Colleen if you want, Sam, but I don't feel safer, so I'm going in a different direction.
Understood. He doesn't seem particularly worried about it.
Nice. Asshole. It's fine. Yeah.
Am I in the room while you do this?
Yes.
Oh.
Good land spring salmon.
I love like the sad face.
Yeah.
And by that I mean shit
This
eating
was,
grin.
yeah, this was my sweet gift to you, my friend Simon, was that I would fire Sam in front of you.
Oh. Do I know it's a gift? Or am I just like here and this is
I was just
happening
doing
and,
business in the room.
and it's very good?
It looks like I forgot you were in the room.
Oh,
and
cool.
Just
Cool.
conducting. Like, I'm not going to be like, I got you a
Sure,
gift.
amazing.
Watch
Obviously,
this.
like
It's
that would be very
yeah.
odd.
It's like, oh, are you still in here? Whatever. Sam, go away. You're done. Be better at your job in the future.
Is he? So he's here. So
Yeah.
give him a nod.
Okay.
That's all. Eating the leftover breakfasts.
Okay.
Yeah.
He makes no excuses, makes no apologies. And has no comment to make.
Nice. I liked him.
So professional.
So professional.
Um,
Was he though?
You-
Professional enough.
you might note that he has gathered reams and reams of tactical data on dealing with X's from a paramilitary standpoint.
Makes sense. Americans are hyperviolent. It's fine. That's why you never show them everything you have. Yeah. You can leave now. Why are you still in the room?
No, he's already gone.
Good, thank God. I can't tell. I don't. acknowledge servants. Oh God, you're still here.
What did he do?
I almost was blown up. And I don't have someone's head on a fucking platter for it. That's what he failed to do.
Okay.
Good point.
Makes perfect sense to me.
Yep.
Sweet.
Okay, that's done.
Yep. So how's your day going?
Well, that's nothing. I won't bother you with my issues. Those are mine to deal with, and
No, I'm still pretty drunk. I'm curious.
well, why don't I grab that whiskey there? And
Yeah. She like slides it over. Lance, you can stay and drink if you want. Or go swim more. Whatever you do that makes you look like that.
Swimming.
Yeah, swimmer body's pretty freaking amazing.
Yeah. She says it out loud though. She's just like, cool.
He'll go swim.
Of course he does. That's fine. A thing I want him to note is that whenever he comes in the room, he feels like the slightest tug that her power kind of kicks on. Like, she tries for emotional control because emotions are tied to her powers too. And because she likes him now, she, like, inadvertently pulls on him just a little bit when she first sees him. Sweet.
It was just my father wants me home, and he doesn't necessarily like the people I've been associating with.
How old are you?
You know how I'm.
Yeah, like a, I don't know if gingers like look older, but you look like a grown fucking man. So why do you care what your dad thinks? Like, what does he have to do with any of
He
this?
is a very powerful man.
I don't think have I heard of him?
Has she?
I have no problem with it.
Is
feel
your
like
dad blah blah blah?
My father was a chief inspector at the London Police Department. He has many connections. He's a very powerful man, and
She like looks at her phone. Okay. All right. Well, he's kind of a thing.
Peter Guthrie is his name.
Peter.
Yes, and he has the ability to destroy my career and everything I've worked for.
Okay, but so? Are you going to live in fear of your dad your whole life? Then you should have gotten a different job in the first place, so let him ruin it.
At least his whole life.
What does he want you to do? Is he an X2?
No, of course not. No one in my family. It's just me.
Oh, so you're like the black sheep that's trying super hard by being like the most police.
I mean, if you want to cut right through it, I suppose.
It doesn't feel like I'm wrong. I don't know what that feeling is though, so I'll continue. What do you want?
I want to help people.
Is that more important than remaining in your dad's good graces?
Well, I always thought the best way to help people was, through the system, through the police, through the official way of helping people.
She chokes back a told you so look and says, how do you feel now, knowing what you know?
I feel like I told Edison, I feel like I've helped more in the time I've spent with you all than I have in 2 years with the police department.
And I think that's your answer.
But I can't just... It's my family, you understand. I can't just throw them away.
You don't have to throw them away. But
They'll throw me away if I don't
Okay, yeah.
go back.
You don't have to throw them away. You just need to do what's best and trust that if they're the people that raised you to be that thing that you are, that they'll understand in the end.
Okay, but also you murder people a lot.
Okay. Just fine. We're going to have a technical definition of murder, because I still don't murder people. Yeah. I know. I was like, my team. Murder is a very harsh term. And you seem to be very caught up on that. Is that keeping us from becoming friends? Or at least having you make eye contact with me at any point?
I have beliefs, and certain things you've done go against those, and there's nothing I can do about that, and I'm sorry.
You're not sorry. And I'm not either. And you know who isn't either? Colleen.
What would she be sorry for?
Everything that she's done that's crossed your self-supplied sense of, like, moral correctness. And it's not for me to say how you go about living your life, because I'm honestly starting to sober up and I don't give a I'm just hemorrhaging fucks about this whole conversation.
I'm sorry, what would Colleen have done to cross the line?
I have no idea. I'm not a very good liar, but I'm also not going to tell you. Don't worry about it. I have files on everyone. The point is, either you're going to become more flexible or you're just going to remain unhappy your whole life. So, like, pick one. I could have said that a lot slower and a lot nicer, but I'm bored. He went to the pool. I'm going to go to the pool. Okay, bye. She just gets up and leaves.
Okay.
All
I
right.
said bye.
Come back to that. So, what's Edison doing now?
Okay. Edison is taking a walk to the garage,
Okay.
and he's going to the very far back of it, to an area that has basically machine tools and a bunch of parts and things. Obviously, it's a place where people work on cars.
Uh-huh.
And there's a tarp that's covered in dust and dirt.
Yeah.
It's obviously been sitting there for quite a while. And he grabs a painter's mask from off the wall and puts it over his mouth and just throws the tarp off.
Yeah.
And it's a 1964 Mini. That basically, when he was 8, was his project to restore.
Okay.
It has the
Union Jack roof.
Union Jack roof.
That's so
It's
cute.
red. It's got the little racing wheels. The engine has some improvements. And I reach into my pocket and I pull out an old pair of keys and I open it up and I get into the driver's seat.
Yeah.
I'm picturing like a giant blower on the hood. It's not there, but no.
And it turns over after a while because it's just not primed. It's been sitting there for a long time, but it does finally turn over. And he drives it out. And he goes to an area where there are some servants waiting to wash the car. And I get out of it, I grab the keys, and I leave them in Colleen's room with a little note that says, I figured a young lady needs a way to get around town every once in a while.
Okay. I was going to go a little different way. No, that's fine. I was going to go a little different way. Because I had a little thing in mind.
Mm-hmm.
But that's okay. We're going to go your way instead.
Okay.
I like it. I want the car.
Oh, I don't know. You might have wondered what I was going to do.
Why not both?
Yeah. Yeah.
Lots of cars for Colleen.
It's okay. We can still do the thing I was going to do anyway.
Okay.
Okay, cool.
So you're out to make your phone call.
All right.
And as you're making your phone call, you're kind of wandering, as people do when they're on the phone.
Yeah.
And you kind of absently wander into the garage. And kind of in the back, off to one side, is
Another car.
a tarp. Well, there are a number of cars.
No, yeah.
And cars. You know,
I'm aware.
but there's a tarp over something. You can't really tell exactly what it is. It's probably too small to be a car. But, you know.
What do you do?
While she's on the phone, she's gonna kind of like, she's not gonna pull the tarp, you know, but like she's gonna kind of like peek it up and like look and see what
It's a motorcycle.
Okay, this is a good day. All right.
A triumph, of course.
All right. This is my birthday. Goodness. No, I'm just kidding. She doesn't know about that car yet. So, cool. She's going to make mental note of that. And
It's
Put
a
the tarp
it's a
back.
several years old Triumph Thruxton,
okay.
which is their cafe racer
Yeah.
model.
Conflict.
There's like a hot swimmer dude. There's cars and motorcycles. This is Kimmy's having a fabulous time this day. Colleen's probably not as excited, but I'm having a great time.
I don't know, I kind
Okay.
of thought Colleen might be excited by
No,
motorcycles.
she is. She is. She's probably not as excited about that particular motorcycle as Kimmy is. But,
Let me say, I don't own a motorcycle, but if I was going to, that's
That
what I would have.
so, okay, so she's going to make a mental note of that.
Okay.
She's not going to take it because it's not hers. But
Right. No, I understand. I didn't expect you to. I just, it's there.
lovely. It's so pretty. She puts it back
It's,
and continues.
It's also British Racing Green.
Oh. No. It's Irish green.
It's a Kelly Green.
Exactly.
But as you're coming out of the, so you finish and you come out of the, out of the garage. What do you do? I'm curious.
I'll probably head back to the house
Okay.
since I don't have any information yet, and since I'm not planning on leaving, I probably should unpack my stuff.
Okay. So when you go back to your room, on the nightstand beside the bed is a note in Edison's handwriting, and sitting on top of it is a keychain. It's a Mini Cooper.
Yeah.
With a key.
I have no bloody idea what to do with this. I have to give it back to him. He can't give me a freaking car. Do people give people cars? This is something that comes with the room? All right.
She's going to hyperventilate.
She like, takes the key and like puts it in her pocket and like unpacks her stuff and
Sure.
is going to ask Faiza about this.
Okay.
Is this
And
normal?
you ask him about what the note says.
Yes, what is it? Oh, you said it already.
Yeah, the note says, I thought a young lady would need a way to get around London.
Yes. Yeah.
Enjoy.
Very stunning. Yes. I can put my guitar in it. You're adorable. Benefit of that versus a motorcycle. It's hard to ride with a motorcycle on an instrument.
It is. It's tricky. All right. So, I'll come back to you in a second. Pool.
Yeah.
You are going to the pool.
Yes. Yeah. Is it indoor or outdoor?
It's England.
Indoor.
Oh yeah, that's fair.
I figured it was indoor.
What am I doing?
I figured it was indoor.
Cool.
Yeah, I think we're gonna do that. Go do that way. You walk in and you don't see Lance right at first until you walk up closer to the pool, and he's kind of sedately sitting on the bottom of the pool, wearing nothing but Speedo.
Yeah. Okay. What? Is that like a thing swimmers do? And she's gonna wait to see when he comes up for air, and is gonna start timing it on her phone.
Several minutes later,
Cool. Let's
stamina.
Google if that's a human amount of minutes.
No.
Also, yeah. All right. Cool. Nice. She's wearing I don't know, some sort of like black tweed dress, and like kicks off her heels and like dangles her feet in the pool and just waits for him to like surface.
The instant her feet touch the water, he like looks up and immediately swims up.
Sweet.
And the smoothest swimmer exit from a pool in history.
Nice. She leers.
He's very pretty.
Yeah, cool. And now feels much better about this. Like, that's something I'm going to have to fill in on your dossier.
I'd much rather you didn't.
Fair enough. Were you ever going to tell me? And she's trying to look severe, but, like, isn't. She's, you know.
At some point.
You know everything about me, and I don't know anything about you. Doesn't feel fair.
Well, I am, after all, just the help.
That you are.
With that tight speedo, you might know something.
She's trying so hard. To, like, she's like, can you just sit down? Just make this easier, please. It's weird. I look like Simon right now. I'm just not making eye contact with anyone.
He actually picks up a towel and wraps.
Thank you. So, is Lance your real name?
Yes. Yes.
That was a
Well,
convincing yes.
Yeah.
It's a diminutive of my name.
Full name, please.
Well, it's kind of embarrassing, actually.
I've seen just about all of you at this point. There's not a whole lot left for you to be embarrassed by.
My full name is Lancelot Dulac.
Oh my god, of course it is.
Oh my god.
And she cracks up. And it's like strange to her own ears to laugh that hard. Like, it's not. I'm not laughing at you. Oh my god. You're literally a knight. If you ever put on armor, I'll rip it off of. That's not. Don't finish that thought. Cool. Oh my god. Were you just sent to torment me? Why are you here?
Well, I'm here to help you.
Okay. You're good at your job.
I would hope so.
This is my problem. Kind of want to get rid of you. In a good way. This isn't coming out right. I don't know. God, I need friends to process this with. And you're still wearing a Speedo, and I'm like, still aware of it. Okay, well, good job. I guess you can go back. I won't say anything. What do you do?
Well,
I'm just like Aquaman?
I breathe water. I have to get whole ice. Wait one.
Sweet. Yeah, no worries. She's just sort of like mumbling about how this spared her having to like steal a hair sample from you at some point to see if you were an ex. This is nice. That's very jarring, though.
I can think of much better ways to get genetic material.
Yeah. You would. Go check Ophelia.
Watch is going to be like, of all the people in the game, like Colleen and Simon are the only ones who don't get like laid and fall.
Yeah, right.
Like,
Got some shape of water shit going on.
Yeah.
Well, I breathe water.
Mm-hmm.
I can manipulate water. And he pauses for a second, and then he's standing on the other side of the pool.
What?
Dag.
How? What? How? How?
I'm quick.
All right. Fair enough. Can you come back? Yelling is...
He's standing right beside you.
Thank God. That's what poor people do. I don't yell. Okay, that's pretty cool. Oh God, I don't know what to do with this information, even a little bit. Sweet. Huh. Okay. Does anyone else know that you're an ex?
Not if I can help it.
I like that. All right. Well, your secret's safe with me for now.
Thank you, Mom.
You don't have to. No, keep calling me ma'am. That's fine. Okay, well, enjoy the pool. That is so weird. I'm gonna go now. Just gonna go. I'm gonna fire you. She just like walks out. And she's like hunting for Colleen now.
Okay. You find Colleen coming down from her room, I believe. Yeah.
Did you were you going to do something for
Yes,
Simon first?
but
Okay.
before we get to that, let's talk to Simon for a second.
Oh. No, I'm not doing anything interesting. I don't know.
That's not true.
Oh, no. I just, after...
Yeah, there was a semi-revelation about Colleen a minute ago.
No, there wasn't.
Yeah, no, there was. There's something. And... Yeah, I'm gonna start to do some deep research. That's my
Okay.
comfort zone.
Okay.
Is to deep dive and see what I can find.
About?
Talking to me. It's fine.
Yeah, though. Yeah.
How has this been working so far? Exactly like this.
Yeah. No, I'm looking. Simon's first instinct is to not think about that and to go and he's going to be looking up stuff on Bishop
Bowman.
Alfred?
Yeah.
Alfred Bowman.
Alfred Bowman.
And he starts doing a deep dive on that and like where he served and like with what unit but he can't keep away from getting into the other stuff.
Okay.
She was only talking about your activism, by the way.
Yeah.
She does not know this.
No, I know. I know.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
Colleen's still going to suspect me, and I'm going to feel like an ass. Oh no!
Let's put some dice down.
So
Oh God.
he knows there's a pub that Colleen used to frequent
Uh huh.
in Dublin, and he knows a lot of people that she used to hang out with there.
Yep.
So he's going to start looking into those people and anything that they might have been arrested for or anything they might have been
Sure.
caught doing. So
It's going to happen eventually.
It was gonna happen.
No.
Ooh.
Maybe he'll roll terribly. Fate will intervene. Keep the love alive.
Okay.
There's a lot of dice.
Here's some
So
dice.
many dice.
So I have a question. So
Uh-huh.
I have a relationship dice with Colleen. That's a D12. It's a bit higher than
Right.
the D8. So if it was going to be a downgrade from that,
It's still a D4.
it is still a D4. Okay.
Aw.
So cute.
Because this isn't
It's like you're
something
dueling a lion kid.
you want to know.
All right, I'll find out.
That is a 13 with a D8 effect.
Okay. So, some time ago, you have to. There's not a direct thing. Okay. What you're able to determine is that there is some connection between Colleen and this group called Axe, and that there were people from Axe who were arrested. Actually, they turned themselves in after, but they set an explosive device.
There's
And-
actually not a record of them turning themselves in.
Are there
That's what happens.
Okay.
But they disappeared into the system, and
Okay.
and there's not like a record of that. I mean, there might be like on message boards or something somewhere, but officially there's not a record of them.
That's right. I'm sorry, I forgot
it's
about
okay.
that.
It's okay.
I'm sorry.
So I find some rumors.
Now, what you find, you find some rumor and innuendo connecting Axe with this explosion,
Okay.
in which lives were lost.
Okay.
And
Does
you
that
would know
make
that
sense?
explosion was at Thane's house, which is basically FBI headquarters for Britain.
Okay.
It's totally fine. And there's probably files on Axe and stuff where there's, like, in the police department and stuff like that,
And-
and people who are involved, and like there's if there was like when you watch like mob shows and stuff, there's like the little hierarchy
Yeah.
Oh
thing.
yeah. All
Nice.
the pictures.
Colleen's pretty high up there.
That's very good.
No, like I know, like I would think that this was a terrorist attack that I would have known about.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, you definitely would have.
So, but there's nothing that specifically says Colleen
There's-
was involved.
No, there is not.
Okay.
Maybe Avon Barksdale. Sorry, Wire reference. Anyway.
I got.
I love this shit.
Yeah.
Where's Wallace?
yeah.
Where the fuck is Wallace?
Nice.
So that happened.
Okay. Okay.
Okay, now we're going to have this conversation.
Between you and I.
Yeah. Hey, what are you doing? I think we're friends.
I love how awkward Fiza is at this.
Yeah.
Of course you're friends. I was just unpacking my stuff because I guess I'm staying a bit.
Oh, cool. That's good.
Yes.
Can we talk about me though?
Sure, yes.
Sweet. So I think I have to fire or have sex with Lance, and I'm super not sure on what I want him to do.
She's gonna grin. Well, I mean, you're a modern woman. You can do both if you want.
Fair enough. You go in the pool area and try to fire him when he has like nothing on. It's ridiculous.
I've got nothing on.
Hey, eyes on me.
All right.
Yeah.
Just want to assess the situation
That's
properly,
fair.
my friend.
That's friendship is magic. This is cool. Ugh, I need to drink more or never again.
I think it's the first one, dear.
Probably.
I mean, you're both grown adults. Like, if you give
One of the adults works for the other.
Right.
That's terrible.
I mean,
What would Terry at HR say?
is it?
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sure the hunk operation's kind of fancy and stuff. I'm sure you got some sort of paperwork that you can have him sign.
An NDA. It's not a bad idea.
Right.
You know nothing about business.
No, I don't.
But I like where your
Right.
head's at.
Like an official consent form or something. I don't know. It seems like your kind of foreplay, really.
It really does. You know me very well. I feel attacked. Cool. Okay. Well, I just wanted to share that with someone since I can't tell him.
Is he really naked in the pool?
Not basically.
All right.
It's just, he's built like a brick shithouse, and there's very little covering, and I have a very good imagination.
Oh. I mean, Speedos. I mean, they don't.
I know,
Yeah.
right?
Right.
God bless the Americans for inventing them.
It is one of their better inventions. Yes.
Basically.
Like the image you cannot get out of your head right now is when he was first, like when you first realized he was on the other side of the pool, he was facing the other way.
Yeah. Yeah. No wonder he's so good at his job.
Right. Are you sure he's not like a mind reader too? Because he's pretty good at that.
Maybe he is. No, he's not. He's a normal boy.
Right. Right. Of course. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Nothing weird about him at all.
Are you lying to me?
I am lying to you.
Nice.
You're a very good teacher.
This is very good, and she offers a high
Well
five.
done.
Sweet. Okay. Well, that's all I really wanted to say.
All right.
So that's my struggle for the
Enjoy
moment.
that. You should have a nice conversation with your lawyers. She like winks at you like, oh yeah.
I like you. All right. I'm gonna go to bed.
I think at that moment Lance walks by,
We do the thing where it's just like,
properly properly attired,
Yep.
hair perfectly coiffed, but as always, smelling slightly of chlorine.
Nice.
she's just gonna like nod at you. Get it, girl.
Are you wearing any metal right now?
I probably have like a necklace or something.
I know to be
crazy.
fact that you have a set of keys in your pocket.
Oh yes, I have a set of keys in my pocket.
You
Oh,
feel
I was gonna say, can I use a plot point?
Sure.
To what?
Maybe you have a clattering.
I do, but I don't want anyone to see it, so it's on a long necklace.
okay. Sweet. Nice. You feel like the weirdest Stop it, you guys are gross. This is about lust, not love right now. I need you to focus.
I'm sorry, I'm thirsty.
Okay,
Keep
You're
going.
putting in way the wrong energy.
Forever
okay?
thirsty. Water boy over here.
Chlorine.
He
Got
does
it.
that to
Back.
people. It's one of his powers. You just feel it like slightly twitch.
Okay.
Just under your shirt. Like it's
Yeah.
not a big thing. Yeah. Sweet.
All right.
He just watches him like, I've got to get out of this house. I think I need to go.
You and
or
me
fire
both.
him or kill him or something.
I go back to London. There's, you know.
He follows everywhere. He's so quick. It's so weird. But like normal quick.
Oh, all right.
Yeah. And then just walks away.
Didn't say it out loud. Damn it, Mike. God, that's so cute.
That's so cute. Yeah.
All right.
That was
Cool.
it. Just want to have like a weird admission.
Yeah. So legal advice from Colleen.
Yeah, it was
Legal
very
advice from
good.
Colleen.
Like when you have to tell
not-
someone about a crush. Like, oh,
So
no.
when you go downstairs, parked in front of the house is a bright red '64 Cooper with the Union Jack roof, and
Okay.
you know, washed, waxed, looks perfect.
Jesus, Mary and Joseph. I forgot to ask Fiza about the goddamn car. Shit. It's just very pretty, though. So she's going to go just, like, very carefully, like, unlock it and, like, sit in the front seat and just kind of, like, wow. And then get out of it quickly, shut the door, and, like, go back in the house.
Okay.
I know, but wait. When you sit in the car, it looks just like a regular classic Mini Cooper setup. But when you sit down and when you put the key in, you just put the key in, a panel opens, and there's a rear view camera, Bluetooth, and all of the regular modern amenities.
All right, so I'm going to retcon, just I sit in it, and I put the key in it. That happens. I lose my shit, turn it off, get out of the car, shut the car, and walk quickly back into the house. This place is very strange.
I think as you're walking back into the house, Edison is coming out of the hall to his study.
So many hallway meetings.
Yeah. Well, we're in a mansion.
We're just never in the same room all at the same time. All right.
And for some reason, the air everywhere in the house at this point smells faintly of chlorine.
Everywhere.
Everywhere. It does permeate. It's
Note to self: salinate pool.
Check pH balance.
Edison, thank you for the, you know.
Oh yes, I haven't driven it in years. It was a project when I was a child.
A child toy. All right. Yes, that seems normal. I don't think I can accept. I mean, it's a car.
Oh, please do. It's one of the few things in this house that's 100% mine, and I want you to have it. I have no use for it.
I'm gonna say that she like kind of reads off of him. Like, I mean, I can roll for it if you want me to. Like, just like a feint, like how important. it is.
Unless you were going to try to hide your feelings, and I have
well,
no.
Edison really kind of can't. But no, it's pretty matter of fact. He just wanted to give you a kindness,
Yeah.
and it's absolutely genuine.
Yeah. All right. You might need to teach me how to drive, though.
God bless you.
I never had a car.
That will be interesting. Yes, let's do that.
All right. Maybe not right now, but
Oh, of course.
all right. And definitely before we get back to London.
Well,
it's Saturday.
Right.
You have Sunday.
All right. That's totally enough time to drive. Learn to drive in a day. No problem.
oh, it practically drives itself.
I could believe that. It looks like you could launch spaceships from it.
No, I just took it's just yes. We'll start tomorrow morning.
All right. Very
After
good.
breakfast? Yes.
Yes. All right. Thank you. I don't know what I can give you in return.
All right. He walks up to Colleen. He takes her hand and basically just cups it over both his hands
Oh.
and just looks you straight in the eye and says, "It's fine.
Oh.
I wanted to do this, and I hope you enjoy it."
Thank you. She doesn't know what to say. Like, she's just Great, thank you. And she's gonna try a little bit not to cry and like happy cry and go into the house.
Okay.
And he has a cup of tea and a book, and he just keeps on walking past.
Okay. When you walk past the lab, Ophelia is back at work. Actually, she's poring over your
My book,
Your book?
my notebook. Yeah.
and she's making extensive notes, just very studious.
Very good. That was the only thing I can think of that she would chew on for a while. That wouldn't be something that she was just like done. But also, it was something that was semi-personal because I'd never shown anybody that work. So yeah, that was actually a very special gift because that sort of like was an invitation to join him on a journey
Right.
of discovery and truth.
Right. Cool. So, what's Simon going to be up to? English countryside.
Look,
So much emotion.
Simon is getting antsy. I'm going to tell you, he needs to get back to work.
Could ask Colleen to drive him.
I would not suggest that, at least until after tomorrow. Some of the men are outside working in a firing range.
Ooh, cool.
And you can say like professional, and they have like professional sidearms, and they're actually it's not like
Is that the anticipation for every Simon Colleen conversation? Is people shooting outside?
Yeah, perfect.
No, I
No, it's okay.
I'm trying to think what I want to do right now. Simon has gotten some information. He has an idea of where to start looking for this bishop's backstory,
Okay.
for lack of a better word. He's gotten some information on where this guy served and what we need. So I think he's going to go back to Edison and say, "Look, where are you hanging out?"
Everywhere.
Actually, I'm in. If you ask one of the servants, they'll just take you to where I am,
of course.
and it's basically a very large closet that has one of those like trifold mirrors and a little pedestal on it. And he goes, "Call him simple Guthrie."
Professor, I think I've found enough information now on this bishop to.
And he basically, while he's talking, he sort of tugs him over and just stands him on top of the thing, and he goes, "Continue, go ahead." There's a man comes up and starts measuring him.
Yes. That's very good.
For a Speedo.
Look, I think I have an idea of where to start looking for an old sample of the bishop's DNA, as you requested.
Fantastic. What's the source of that?
He was in the military, and they would have taken blood samples so that they could do transfusions if necessary. So I think if we went to the his I'm fucking no idea his
Unit?
Service record?
yes,
Service record unit,
yeah, his
military branch.
basically the military laboratory would have all the samples we'd need. So I don't know if you might be able to get access to that as a pretense to research, or if maybe there was another way we could pull that in. Why am I being measured? I'm a bit on.
Single or double-breasted, sir?
It's, don't worry about that. We'll come to that decision later. I just need the measurements, please.
Oh, of course, sir. He's
Nice.
gathering all the measurements.
But yes, I'm sorry. This is a bit distracting.
Just pay it. No, never mind. It's fine.
But yes, I think if we were to go to the military laboratories and request the samples, that would give us what we need. But unfortunately, I don't think I have the credentials necessary to pull that information.
At this point, Edison looks kind of crestfallen and goes, "I think I know an avenue of inquiry that might be successful. It's personally dissatisfied, but my father is a major general.
Daddy issues.
Is he? Is he a model of a modern major general?
He just points at the picture, and there's the chops.
He is the very model of a modern major general.
He's literally wearing a pith helmet.
Yes.
Can't believe I still make those.
It's true.
Yeah, but they do. I know, I own one.
I mean, if you're not comfortable going through that avenue, I understand.
I
I talked to
would-
Faiza. I'm sure she would know.
I would rather exhaust other avenues. My father and I are not on the best of terms.
As we discussed, I can relate to that.
And
Just a bunch of daddy's boys. Ugh.
I've lived my entire life in a constant race to extricate myself from my father's immediate power, and I have managed to do so to some extent. And I would be hesitant to be drawn back in.
I understand.
But if need be, I will pursue this. But I would be more satisfied if we tried other avenues first.
I have one more question.
Yes.
What are you measuring me for? I have asked this twice now, and your people.
Simon, out of all of us, you're the closest one to being a superhero. And every superhero needs a suit.
I'm sorry?
Flash to my lab. There's basically a 3D rendering printer that's being entered. All of those measurements are being entered, and it's basically a sort of a render of his size. And it's just, it comes up, it's doing the face, and on the chest it says Sparky Mark 1.
Yes, so good. Amazing.
Kate?
Golly,
Nookits! Nookits! Thank you.
Amazing. Yeah.
I would love to end that.
we
scene
have to
like
cut that. I'm sorry.
I think we stopped that right there. I think that we're good with that.
That's very good. Nice.
It's getting on towards afternoon,
Oh, thank God.
towards tea time.
Cool, I feel normal again.
And Lance comes in with a tablet in hand, and profits in the Singapore region are up 57%, Mom.
That's actually better than projections.
57?
Yes.
Hot shit.
And then she like looks in and like zooms in and I was like, oh, okay. Moving into coastal properties was an inspired
just
choice.
like lost his shit.
An 8% increase is bananas.
I know.
Lance is a good boy.
He is. The coastal properties were an inspired choice.
Thank you, Mom.
How long do you want to be my assistant?
How long have you gone?
It's awesome.
Trying to have a business conversation. We'll do this later. Good job. There. We need to go somewhere and do something. That's enough for now. I don't like being overly productive when I'm gunning for a bit of a promotion myself, so let's pump the brakes on that. 57% was a bit much. We'll talk about that later. To spread it out over time. Sweet. Where is everyone else? This is what I hate about manors. It's just very quiet. Just me and you, and that's a lot. God. What was it like growing up in Camelot?
Windy.
All right, Aqualad, let's go. And then just kind of like marches out with him and like looks for any other human beings.
You can find the
I'm
others.
here.
Cool.
I'm all over the place.
Hey.
Faiza.
I think you see Simon and Edison coming out of a room that you can't really see into, although it looks a bit like a very large walk-in closet. But the thing that jumps out
That
at
is not
you,
a thing that a woman wouldn't know.
Yeah. Uh-oh. Please obscure that from me. She doesn't notice it's a closet.
Does
or
it have shoe racks?
Oh yeah.
oh yeah,
I know. I'm just kidding.
accessories wing? Sorry, what?
But
Is there a tailor already in it?
But the thing that jumps out at you is that there's a straight pin in Simon's shoulder. Mark, the kind that where you put it in to mark something.
Yeah, totally. I'm aware. She twitches a finger and it flies out of the shirt and into her hands. What were you doing?
Well,
With it.
we were just discussing that I believe I know what our next move might be. The bishop was part of a military unit, and there was a military laboratory that would have held all of the samples of the unit's blood types in the event of a necessary transfusion.
Well done. Good job, Sparky.
So,
It's sticking.
okay.
He reacts to that.
We're Edison and I were just discussing possible avenues for retrieving that sample from the laboratory. I don't know that my particular credentials will get us there, but we were hoping that perhaps there was something you could do.
She just turns and looks patiently at Lance.
He's already.
I love him.
Actually, I think the closest thing that you can possibly do to love, you do towards him, yes.
Yeah. What is this feeling? He's competent. I love him.
Yes, Mum. 5th Royal Regiment. Duncastle.
Okay. Do we need to go in person?
It appears that the records from that time are not computerized, which means that they also won't have genetic testing.
They'll just have blood type.
Seems ideal.
No, not quite.
Don't you have like a little squirrel somewhere that does this?
Yes, but without actual genetic samples, it would be very difficult.
Yeah, we're going to go get them.
Well, they don't have samples, Mum. They took samples, typed and crossed, and then filed a report.
All right. Well,
Things were different back then.
yeah.
Well, it was worth a shot.
It's barbaric.
Because it was a good 30 years ago.
Yeah.
Okay. Sweet. Well, barring that, do we have any other leads other than the puppy in both the thing over the weekend and when during our fight?
It does say here that the bishop was an orphan.
To the orphanage. I'm just very tired of this house. Let's go anywhere. Field trip? Field trip? Field trip?
Yeah.
Certainly.
Not there.
You're not there?
No.
Sweet. In the empty space where Colleen would fit. All right. Well, I want to get this done before opening business on Monday, so should we go now?
Certainly. I believe we're all fit in your car.
Absolutely.
Yes.
We should leave Colleen here. It'd be funny.
No, we should get her.
Oh.
Being left behind is not funny.
All right, that felt like I touched a lot of nerves there. Jesus. Cool. Make a
Can I
note
have it,
that
like-
they can't take a joke.
Thank you. Can I have it where I walk in like I'm like looking at something? Oh, hello. Are we having? Did we have a meeting? Was there a memo I didn't notice?
No, but we're planning a field trip, was it?
Oh, we're leaving the house. All right. I'm not
to go
driving, am I?
I would hope
Do you
not.
know how to drive?
No, I don't.
Of course you don't.
No.
Okay.
Eddie gave me a car though.
At a
Nice.
spare.
Eddie.
Fair.
Are
we calling you Eddie now?
We are definitely not calling me Eddie.
Kind of want to.
The house kind of rumbles.
That's my that's my other superpower, like giving people nicknames and just like stick.
It's very good. Put it in the dossier. Okay, let's go. I want to go.
Okay.
Professor, before we go, maybe you could show me what you were working on?
Oh, when it's finished.
Okay.
Does that have
take
something
quite
to do
some
with
time.
this?
Oh, that's mysterious.
No. It's just a little project.
I whispered it to him. You didn't hear it.
Oh, okay. Just checking. All right. I walk out with you.
Sweet. All right. And I'm like twiddling a straight pin, just so you get a weird hint of whatever that was.
I don't think I'd noticed that.
Yeah, that's fine.
Why does the
I have
house smell
pins
like
and
bloody
clothes.
chlorine?
Usually safety pins. Gold.
Oh my god. Just, do you need money? Are you, like, suffering?
I have a car now. Everything. I mean, I don't know how to drive it. I don't know how I'm going to get it back to London or where I'm going to park it when I get to London.
And
But those are problems for Monday.
sales on your most recent album are still up.
Oh. People are
Big fat
buying
royalty
now.
check waiting for it home.
It's like $20.
Yeah.
It's like 20
pounds. All right. Well, Lance, coordinate with the driver. Where's driver?
Driver is right there.
Oh, cool. Where has he been? I like this house because I don't have to see all the people that work for me. It's kind of nice.
I show you a little house on the
Right.
side. They live over there.
Oh, it's so far. I like it.
You have a house around. All right. Maybe we should get in the car.
I would hazard to guess that the house that his servants live in,
Oh, yeah.
much nicer than the house you grew up in.
Ever. Yeah, no, absolutely.
Much nicer
Like
than the house I grew up in.
Yeah. She was like one step above like dirt floor. Like,
Oh.
yes.
Sleeping with a potato.
Little bit.
She didn't even get to have a pet rock. She had a pet potato.
Pet potato.
Potato. It's very sad. All right, in the car. You're with me.
We're being so racist against the Irish right now. It's not even cool.
I'm not.
We're all a little bit Irish here. It's fine.
I think really just Mike is.
I'm an 8th Irish.
Oh, excellent.
I get in on that
I
pool
just
too.
pretend I'm not at all.
Okay, so
0.
so you're getting in the Bentley, all four of you, and driving back to town.
Yep.
Okay.
Cool.
Who's sitting by who?
Ooh. Who do you want to be sitting by?
Me or Colleen?
Oh. Well played. With that answer, whatever you want it to be. I defer to you.
No, I'll say I just got in and said it because you and I both went in first, so
Yeah.
we would have sat like across from each other. So
Okay.
it's up to the boys.
All right, boys, what do you do? What do you do?
Well, I guess I'll probably. It's not like a limo, so there's just like a nice big back seat and then the front seat. That's all it is.
When the
There's
back,
like
the back
there's
seats are
two
facing each
benches
other.
that face each other.
There's seats facing each other in the back,
Simon holds the door open for everyone.
and then there's a front seat where the driver and one other person can sit.
Yeah.
And that's where Lance goes.
Yeah.
yeah.
Good boy, Lance.
I will get into the car first and claim one of the sides of the benches.
Which side?
The one with the back towards the driver.
Okay.
Where did you sit?
I always sit facing forward.
Okay. Then I would have sat in the other one.
Yeah, so you're next to Colleen.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
There. I get last. Next to Liza.
Cool. It's like being pick blast and kickball. Feels great.
Yeah.
It's because you smell like chlorine.
At like 3 other points, she like turns to give you an order and is like, oh, you're not Lance.
So what do we do when we get to the orphanage?
Orphanage.
Yes, the bishop was an orphan. All very tragic.
Ah, I see.
So we're hoping for medical records or some sort of blood sample.
Or maybe to even just speak to someone that might have known him when he was a child. Maybe he manifests his powers early on.
Well, I mean, Simon, don't you have your badge with you?
I do.
That's easy enough.
I don't necessarily want people to know I'm poking around right now.
I have a
Okay,
question.
so-
I should totally know this, and I don't know this as a human being. I probably should. Do badges have names on them?
They have numbers, but there's
That'd be-
usually an ID attached
Yeah,
if he
there's
has
an
a
ID.
wallet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So do you want to do like a ruffian way in, or
But if he's just a plain constable, it would just be the badge. They would have to ask for the photo ID.
Yeah.
Well,
I can make him trust
okay.
you enough.
I can tell you how like sheriff's deputies in the United States work.
Let's do Magic London, where things are good for us.
But yeah, no.
I'm just
My
kidding.
point
No,
is
yeah.
that he would have an ID. You'd have a folio where you would normally like put your badge on your uniform. But you would have a folio where you would keep it that's got your ID as well.
Yeah.
So
I mean, you got to trust in face. They may not even ask to see your ID if they trust you enough, which can happen.
Or we could just break in. She's basically a criminal. I'm sure you would know how to.
I'm not a criminal. She
Oh.
like turns bright red.
Oh, honestly, all of you! This is why I don't make jokes. Never again.
Joking. Very funny.
It was funny. She texts her joke to Lance.
smiley face back.
Perfect. Good. All right. Everyone's serious all of a sudden.
Instant battery of validation.
I mean-
is Lance.
If we have to, sure, I could probably pick the lock, but it's not. It's an orphanage. Like, it shouldn't. It's not like. I can't think of anything but Fort Knox, and they wouldn't say that in the UK, but it's not a bank.
It's not the Queen's jewels.
She says that. It's not
It's
a
not the
bank.
tower. It's not the
Sweet.
tower.
She
of
looks
London.
straight at
Tower,
Faiza when she says that. Yeah, and she looks at you and goes, yeah, I also have no problem blowing up banks.
Right. I'm saying that it shouldn't be as hard as that. You already did that.
Okay, fair enough.
What kind
Oh, I'm
is this a
unfazed by my
state
past.
orphanage,
It's
Or is it
fine.
a religious orphanage?
It's a religious orphanage. It's run by the church.
We're going to get
Which
there.
church?
Is it going to be dark when we get
Anglican.
I'm fine breaking in.
there?
It's not a Catholic church.
So Catholic.
It's not like it's the real church.
No, you're right. The safest way is for me to use my badge.
Well,
No,
I mean,
we're just going to break in.
No, we'll give.
the safest way is for someone to use your badge.
No.
There's an ID attached.
Yes, there's. They'll.
We could just sneak in. We're a bunch of fucking mutants.
No, I don't.
They're an orphanage. They're usually fairly poor and always looking for resources. We can most likely just buy our way in.
That's something I wouldn't have thought of. Good idea. They don't get my car, right?
Of course.
All right, all right.
It's not mine anymore.
It's
I would have
like
given you the motorcycle, but it was my brother's.
It's like I have automatic teller machine on my head all the time. Yes, fine, I'll buy our way in. Girl wants to break through a window every now and then, but no, use money.
It's simply a suggestion.
All right. So you get to the orphanage. It's a very religious and very. It's not shabby, but it's definitely poor.
Gross. Cool.
And there are lots and lots of children running around being very noisy.
If any of them touch me, I delete a 0 from this check. So that's your job. One's kind of close. Get it away. Get it away. Get it away.
Now,
Jelly baby.
Colleen's gonna pull out her guitar
Okay.
and like sit down on the grass in the front yard and start playing like a song for the kids.
Okay.
She's doing that. Like, she's not using powers or anything. She's just distracting the kids.
Just you're trying to distract the kids. Just put some dice down.
Okay. Maybe I should. Okay, I'm actually gonna use powers then, because
Do it.
You can't trust natural talent on this one.
no. Well, I mean, they're kids. They don't really recognize natural talent.
Let's play banana phone.
Yes. I'm gonna use my relationship with Faiza this time
Okay.
to be like, I'm gonna save her from
Please, thank you,
these
God.
children.
Okay. You know,
And
11.
then I'm going to use
Actually, this isn't hard. This isn't hard.
no.
So
I'm going to use love because I've got feels for poor kids running around barefoot.
Oh.
That one's out of the tray.
Yeah, it doesn't count. Oh, you're a monster, right? No. You're like, no.
No, I didn't.
roll it again. It went out of the tray.
Okay.
Oh, it's so much better though.
It's twice as better.
So an
It was a
11.
1 and now it's a
100%
2.
better.
Yeah.
Percentages.
All right. So 8,
exactly
9, 10, 11. Exactly, with a D8 effect.
Okay. So yeah, in very short order, there's a pile of dirty little orphan children. I attempted to have them break into song, but
Yeah.
Sure.
it's a hard knock life. Right?
Yeah, right?
Hard knock life for us.
Just because
You know, since Simon's not paying off this orphanage, he's gonna be with these kids and singing along with them too.
Okay. So yeah,
Right. Colleen's
that happens.
kind of happy about that.
Yeah.
But nobody knows. Maybe everybody knows. I should probably roll to see if
It's
everybody knows.
I think we need to find out if you can keep it secret,
keep it safe.
because we just added that power. We need to use it.
Oh, God. Okay. So, yeah. So, chip on my shoulder, relationship with Simon. But I guess
I think your relationship with Simon is working
the
against
detriment.
you.
Yeah.
I get to roll my brand new D4s, then. Very excited.
Yeah, they're so cute.
Yeah, they're awesome.
And love.
Yikes. It's always one freedom one.
Oh, look at this bad roll you got. Did you keep it secret?
You kept it neither secret nor safe.
4 or 5.
Starts breaking into "fuck you" by CeeLo Green in front of the kids.
No, I think
We all just hit that wall of feels.
No, yeah, I think she feels like good that he's there, and she likes it, and she desperately wants to keep that secret. She does not want him
Those
to
are for your
know.
ones.
Oh, okay, thanks. She does not want him to know that she still cares about him, and it failed miserably. Oh, I have an idea. I mean, it's up to. Okay, so we did the thing where if Simon, Colleen, if she gets close to a person, she can't stop her feelings from being read by them if they touch her.
Okay.
So maybe at some point, you're playing with the kids or something, and you accidentally touch her, and not touch her, if skin touches skin, we touch hands or something like that, then you would pretty much read whatever you want.
Yeah.
Is that okay with you?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
100 yes.
Come on.
Yeah, it's awesome.
I think in this moment, when you accidentally touch Colleen, she cannot hide her truest, innermost feelings towards you at this point. And so you have to tell him what they are.
Oh.
You can do this.
I know. I'm just trying to think of what her feelings would be at this moment. She looks so excited.
I know. He's like,
Yes.
tell me wonderful things about me.
Yeah. No, I think she's still completely caught up with I think she's completely still besotted with him, and she doesn't. She's it was so hurt when he left that she tries to keep that in and doesn't let anyone else know. And there's been some regret. There's probably some regret mixed in there and some frustration that's not gone, but also just such longing and love mixed with some sadness.
So in that brief touch, I think that literally shocks Simon. Where literally electricity comes out and zaps you a little bit.
Okay. And the thing is, Colleen doesn't know that he can still do that. So she
So,
not the fire. Wait a second. So not the electricity thing, but she doesn't realize that he can. After all this time, that he can still read her emotions.
Yeah.
So she probably has no idea that he just read her feelings. So, Simon, watch what you're doing. The kid's here.
I'm sorry.
It's all right.
I'm sorry. I'm gonna find Edison finds it. Run away!
You stink like children.
Sorry, what were you
No, I was
going
going to say is basically he's trying to wrangle one of the kids, and one of the kids actually hides behind a chair. He's playing peekaboo, so he basically just sort of touches in the arm just to get around you to grab him, and that was the instant.
That's
and the sparks came off, and the little kid goes,
So cute.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
It's a good cinematic
So
moment.
kids, come on, let's gather in front. I have to go talk to the other adults. Goodbye. Walk away.
Okay. Cool. I dig it. So let's go back to Fiza and Edison, who are now who've gone inside because the children are distracted.
Yeah, what are you doing?
I'm backing your play. I'm figuring you got this on lock.
Okay, perfect. Cool. So we were just rolling 3 adults deep with no children to Heisman away. But Lance has his head on the swivel just to make sure.
Oh yeah.
Gross. And I guess we'll just walk up to whoever looks like the most nun.
The Mother Superior.
Yeah. All right. Chief nuns.
There's
Super
a
nun.
scale above their
Yeah.
head.
How big is the flappy?
Yeah.
Just the wings. So I look for biggest wing.
Although it's not a
headwings.
Catholic place, it's
Yeah.
Anglican, but you know.
That's why I'm okay robbing it.
Yeah.
You know
Not
what?
robbing it. Okay, so you, Mother something, Superior. Feels right?
Yes, my daughter. How can I help you?
Cool. I'm not your daughter.
We're all children. The children of God.
You are super serene. That's good for you. Cool. I'm here on behalf of the Han Corporation, and your orphanage has been selected to receive a special grant. We're looking into more philanthropic work.
Oh, that's lovely. We could. The children need so many things.
They do, like shoes and soap, and to stay far away from me during this transaction. Okay, is there anywhere private we can speak?
Of course, my office is right
Cool,
down this way.
perfect. And do you come and join us during this part?
I don't, actually. I'm going off by myself.
Oh, he's gonna have a moment. Cool. Okay. Sweet. So I think she just wants to run generally through the process of allotting grant money, and eventually leans in and goes of course you understand that this comes not only as charity, but we're trying to just get more data points on how better to change our philanthropic need. We just need data just to help us help you and other unfortunate tiny people in the future. So just any records that you may have, just
Is there anything in particular that you're looking for?
honestly, just all of it. It's nothing super specific. We just want numbers, just how long have you been around, we're looking for general trends in homelessness, in children, generally.
It is generally better to have digital copies of these records. They're easier to file, they're easier to reference, and they don't take up as much space.
Nothing shady going on.
Thing.
I'm sorry, we can't afford computers, and all of the records are kept at the diocese. Right, not diocese, because I keep going back Catholic. That's what I know. I don't know anything about the
Anglican is
Anglican.
just British Catholic.
What you got to understand about Anglicans is just Catholic light.
Yeah.
It has
Same
all
great
the
taste,
same trappings.
none of the guilt. Oh,
Has
no,
all the
guilt.
same
Oh,
trappings.
Same great taste, extra guilt.
yes, perfect. That extra British guilt, where you don't talk about it, but you feel it.
My friend Alex is Anglican, and that's exactly how he put it. It's just Catholicism light.
So, as always, to our British friends, apologies for everything we get wrong.
Yeah, we
So
suck.
sorry. So sorry.
Please
Not
pardon
sorry.
our
I'm fine,
cultural
though. I'm not
insensitivity.
sorry.
Our cultural
We'll
insensitivity.
then allow the Han Corporation to digitize all your records for you and provide computers so that you are better able to keep up with the struggles of modernity.
That's lovely of you, dear. And, of course, I'm happy to help. If I could only know what you're looking for, I would certainly try to help.
I don't remember what we're looking for. Excuse me.
We're looking for any record because the bishop was in this orphanage,
that's
so we're
right.
looking for
Any
his
records.
records.
Well, we would only want to digitize any records from the last 30 years forward, because that's the most relevant data points. Anything older than that, and then you get a bunch of drop-offs with lifetime value of children. She's using the wrong business words to talk about kids because she doesn't know or care about them. What's the churn like here? What's your child turnover? I don't know. I can give you a bunch of good data about this. I just need piles of information.
Well, of course, dear. I'll be happy to help.
Thank you.
As I said, all the records are kept at the diocese, though.
Are there children at the diocese?
Oh no.
We should go there directly.
Of course, dear.
Cool. Take the check. Lance, don't touch the money.
Right.
Yeah.
Lance does something on his tablet and it spits out a check.
Perfect.
A check.
Nice. Very good.
It even has your signature already on it.
That's great. Yeah. I don't want the sign.
So
Don't
good.
touch pens?
Peasants.
Ugh, gross. Perfect. Are we done here?
Oh, yes, Mom. Of course.
Sweet. So, do I just go to the diocese and say Mother Superior? I feel like that's a hereditary title.
Mother Helena.
Cool. Helena. All right, thank you. We'll get on that. This is so
She
nice.
says hereditary title, and I just giggle.
don't know how your religions work. Good. Okay. Thank you. I think we're done here. Let's get a photo up. Click. And goodbye. You stop playing with the children.
I have to talk to Simon
Yeah,
for a
Simon,
minute.
go feel your feelings.
So you were going off to feel your feelings.
So,
Field.
so Simon has felt these feelings, and he's had some illuminating conversations with Fiza and Edison.
Oh, God.
So he's going to open up that text message from his dad.
Uh-huh.
And what he's going to say to his dad. So what did that text message say? If you have that available.
Oh, yeah.
Something about that girl.
Who's that?
He tells you in the text message that you are derelict in your duty as a police officer by running around with these people. You're being an embarrassment to the family because you're flaunting your ex-ness. And you best not be taking up with that girl again.
Nice. He seems
So he-
pleasant.
Yeah, he
Response?
seems charming.
Dad, fuck off.
Sweet.
Nice.
Yeah.
Okay.
Simon got a backbone.
Eat a bowl of dicks,
Sweet.
Dad.
I love you, Edison.
Sweet. Cool.
That's it.
Okay. All right. That won't have ramifications at all.
No,
No.
of course not.
Not at all.
And nothing bad happens.
And everyone lives happily ever after.
Perfect.
There won't be an immediate reply.
No. I'm sure.
However, from very nearby, just like, a few feet. You like that pretty lady, don't you?
A ragamuffin.
There is, in fact, a ragamuffin.
Oh, there's a ragamuffin!
It's the little boy that was hiding behind her chair.
Wait, I got D10 plus ragamuffin.
I'm sorry, what's your name?
I have to do this. It's Oliver.
Oh, you gotta help.
You suck. I love you.
The boy wants it
You're
more.
perfect and I love you.
So I'm gonna bend
I
down.
can tell that you like that pretty lady.
What would make you think that?
Oh, it's the way you looked at her. And I know that she likes you too.
Well, I have that suspicion myself, Oliver. So,
He's threatened by your detective work.
Did you just gather that from just our quick interaction? Like, how? What makes you think this?
Like I said, it's obvious to see in the way that you look at her. And when she was singing that song and you touched her, she was glowing.
Glowing like she was smiling? Like, what do you mean glowing?
Like she was happy. Because you were near.
Well, thank you, magical child.
So the plot point, get a magic boy. I would like to buy this magic boy.
How much for the child?
1 plot point. No, I'm buying children. It's not happening. It's not allowed.
Well, Oliver, I'd very much appreciate it if that was a secret between me and you for now.
Oh, right, Governor.
Oh my God, you stereotype.
Get rid of this little chimney sweep or keep him forever.
I'm sorry, I just can't help it.
He's so good.
It's such an opportunity.
Yeah.
Well, thanks for that information, Oliver. I appreciate your candor. How long have you been here?
Oh. Well, forever, sir.
Do you like it here?
Oh, it's very nice. I mean, yeah. It's an orphanage.
What? Well, what do you know? What do you want to do? Like, what are your dreams, Oliver?
I want to make people happy.
Let's not be a fucking orphan.
What?
Please buy me this one.
I can relate to that. Well, why don't we head back and listen to more of that lady's music? What do you say?
Ah, right, sir.
All right, I'm gonna take him back
Aww.
because he's adorable and I love him.
So good.
Gosh, he took me by surprise.
Aww. Little clowns.
Beautiful boy.
So I think as you get back, Fiza and Edison are coming out of the orphanage, and so we're going to wind that up
Okay.
and head on.
Head back to the car.
Professor Cornwall,
Yes.
I want you to know that should your academic research ever lead you away from the university, you will be funded in perpetuity as long as I have the power to do so.
I am very grateful, but for now I have commitments with the university. I am a man of my word. But if that situation does change, it'll be the first call I make.
Thank you. I will already know, but thank you.
True. Oh, and please refrain from arranging that situation. It would be embarrassing to my family.
Make a note of that, Lance. Sure. Of course.
It's in the dossier.
Yeah.
It's like Lance always has his tablet in hand, and his
Yeah.
fingers are always just
It's so good.
So are we going
This is
right
what love
to
is.
the diocese, or what are we doing?
I don't know. We're going to come out and listen to you play your song. Yeah.
No,
Yeah. We can play forever.
you're not going to the gym in the morning anyway.
Yeah, you're not because you're broken.
I know I'm broken.
No, play later.
We're going back to listen to your song.
Oh,
okay.
Me and
said-
Oliver.
oh,
There's a herd of small children.
He's holding my hand.
Yes.
Aw.
Yeah.
Oh no, poor Simon's infected with one.
I'm also very uncomfortable around children. Very, very uncomfortable around children.
10 pounds says he keeps it.
Perhaps we should check under the car when we arrive.
I think-
back at the
Oh
house.
god.
I want to know what
definitely.
Colleen is thinking when she sees Simon walking back towards her hand in hand with a small child.
He's got his little paperboy cap on.
He's a newsie.
He's not an orphan in the 1920s.
Apparently, that's what you've discovered here.
Tuppence for a pig, mister.
Oh, is
That
he
sounds like a boy that died 50 years ago.
is he an immortal orphan?
Forever orphan. Amazing.
Yeah, I think she'd get like. I'm sure at some point she had like those visions of a family with him.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
I think that brings that back.
yeah,
to
like
the-
seeing him like walking up with like holding like a child's hand, like was just kind of like a little bit of like, oh god, like
just
punch in the
dropped an
gut
egg.
a little bit. It's just like that, like pain a little bit,
Yeah.
like everything that she had like wanted and then kind of lost, like just kind of and just like keeps going because she's pro.
Nice.
She's a performer. She can do it.
Just muscle through.
Yeah, just keep smiling. When the smile gets bigger, it's like when the things are the worst.
That's right. when the show's going to shit, that's when the smile
That's when the
gets bigger.
smile gets bigger. That's when you go like that. Everything's good.
Everything's great. Okay, so we'll jump ahead to when you to the diocese, and we can role play that if you want, or we can just put some dice down.
Sweet.
Let's do it.
On her way in, she's just going to say, can you take the lead? I'm just not at all British enough for this. Please.
Okay. I don't think you're going to like it.
Colleen's gonna stay in the car.
I did ask for Oliver's file before I left.
Aww.
Okay.
I do want that.
Okay.
Just like, does like the like lean back to make sure there's not a child on the undercarriage.
Yes.
Check under the car. And make
Yeah.
sure
You never know. I'd try to break out if I lived there.
You have to get flamethrower to get
Yeah,
there.
exactly. Just let go, let go.
Like Minox.
I'm not laughing at that.
Like Minox.
It's not
No.
happening.
No.
Oh.
Bad.
I was making
I
Minox
know.
reference.
Yes, I know. I got it.
Are you gonna keep
Still
it?
not laughing.
Did you keep it? You're
That's
gonna
fair.
go pick it up later.
It's
Yeah, the little scrawny thing.
Sorry, I have too many of these. I
You were
keep
holding
dropping.
it.
he was a very charming little boy.
His name is
Don't you dare.
Oliver Shout.
How dare you?
no. His name
Oliver
is
Entwist.
no. It's Oliver Smith,
Oh. Okay.
and he was left here 5 years ago, which means he's 10.
Okay. Ooh, he doesn't remember anything from before he was 5 years old?
5 years old is like the age that like permeates.
Oh, I remember stuff when I was 3. I don't
a lot of times with orphans, they block out a lot
Yeah,
of stuff.
Yeah.
true. Okay.
Well, maybe he wasn't telling you the entire truth.
Sure.
Oh, children lie a lot. That's mostly what they do.
Yeah.
Accurate.
You
And
gonna
poop.
keep it?
And make messes and break things.
I just want to keep an eye on him, that's all.
Oh, what a nice half measure. And gets out and walks away. I'm not nice all the time.
You've been way too nice today. You
Way
have to
too. I
balance-
had to like
you
come
balance
back.
it out.
Yeah, yeah,
Bring it
balance
back.
it out.
Bring it back.
Caroline's gonna be like, wow. Yeah, that was a burn. I'm on my phone, I'm not listening.
Yeah, I'll deal with that later.
Okay.
Okay, so you're at the diocese, and when a fancy car drives up and someone gets out of it, who looks important, as you do, they send a priest out to meet you and says, "Good afternoon."
I look over at Edison.
Good afternoon, sir. We were wondering if you could speak to someone who's in charge of the records.
Oh, I don't see why not. What is it you're looking for?
She is a representative of the Hahn Corporation, and she's made a very generous offer to your orphanages to help with the digitization and accumulation of all back records for the benefit of the church, and also a substantial amount of funds to the individual orphanage that is near my family's estate as the.
Oh, that's most generous of you. Thank you so very much.
Baronade Lemon. So we have come to inquire as to the state of those records so that we may have personnel assigned and equipment brought to make sure that the proper digitization and storage of the information is accumulated.
I'm afraid you've got a monumental task in front of you because, well, it would be easy if I showed you. He takes you inside, down, and there's this gigantic room with, and it's got boxes and, just filing cabinets for days, and there are racks with boxes, and universally the boxes they're in various sizes, but they'll have a name on them.
Okay.
Colleen's glad she's in the car.
Not only do we have all of the records, but we also have belongings.
Sweet. She leans into Lance and is like, I don't know. She makes a bet about who can find the stuff first. She's also very good at organization, and she's feeling competitive. And I want to roll dice to see who can get. I want to try to find.
You want to try to find it faster than Lance does?
Yes, I do.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
She's feeling feisty.
Okay.
I will distract the priest with an over-detailed explanation of the plan and the technology that's going to be used.
So you're doing that to aid her?
Yes.
Okay.
Oh, thanks, buddy.
Okay. So, for your give her your relationship die for her.
That is a D8, so you get to roll.
Thank you. Sweet. And I'll use too many variables, but the good way.
Okay.
She's good at like finding things amongst chaos to get to like what the important thing is.
What did Simon do?
Are you waiting in the car?
I'm using Alan to help
I did
me pull
as well.
files open,
Okay.
so I don't have to touch stuff.
Okay. So I'll set the stakes for the roll.
I can't read those dice.
Can I use Lance's
I was hoping I could. But
as
I
my
can't.
asset, but can I use it against him?
Yeah.
Ooh.
And I don't think you can use your lance asset.
Damn, it's supposed to be like, I'm your boss!
Because you're competing against him for this.
You don't want to beat me or you're fired.
Yeah!
That's not
Okay.
even fair.
Sweet. Did you roll super? I bet you roll. I can't read your dice.
You're looking for 13.
Okay. Come on, dice, be good.
They're
So
good.
there you
That's
go.
it. Okay, cool.
There's a 13
with a
D10 effect.
Effect.
Okay, well, he has a 13 with a D10 effect as well.
All right, well then I will spend a plot point.
No, it's like perfect because you both show up at the same moment and
damn
touch it
it.
together.
That is very good.
Yep, that is
I mean,
perfect.
you can spend a plot
And your
point.
hand's
No, that's
dead.
actually much better.
so good.
I like
played.
it.
It's
I
like
like
well
it.
played.
So
Sweet.
you, that is exactly what happened. Literally, like, you go to grab the file, and like, just as you grab it, his hand is over yours.
Like
All the tingles.
you hear like a as like a bunch of file cabinets all like shit. She's like, and like extricates her hand. I touched it first, just for what it's worth.
Absolutely, Mom.
You're quick. You let me win.
No, I didn't.
You better not have. All right. Well played. Oh,
Now tell me, Paula, how many terabytes of storage do you have here?
you just walk in and she's just staring into Lance's eyes.
Terabyte? What is a terabyte?
Catholic nonsense.
He basically is just filling in notes.
So you have a box that says Alfred Bowman on it, and in it is there are two things in it. One is a teddy bear, and the other one is a locket.
I saw this movie. Miss Hannigan has the other half.
It's not.
I know, I'm just
And when you open the locket, there's a picture of a young woman, and a picture of a young child, of a tow-headed little boy of probably 3. And there are you can tell that they're distinct. There are 2 locks of hair twined together in the
Disgusting.
in the collar.
She lets it drop out.
No, that's what we want.
Were you there?
There. Oh, okay, right. I'm not there. I'm distracting the priest now.
No, like a couple seconds later, she's like, "Oh, a sample," and then like leaves it. Gross. Like put
Sam, not Sam, but Lance would before you ever started to bend down, he would scoop it up into a bag.
She kisses him. Yeah.
Snaps.
Yep.
And it gets real. Just like
Yep.
that.
Just like looks around, sees if anyone's near them, and kisses him.
He would be into that. He would.
And you hear one more big like shift, and then she like walks out. We have the beginnings of what we. Can we go now? I'd like to go now.
I'm curious about one thing. Is Fiza blushing?
Yup. She's bright red like a Bria is slowly turning.
That is how into this game we are. Because I feel myself being warm too.
Like
I'm like,
in my like Fiza
So-
feelings. I'm like,
Okay, so that happened.
Yeah.
Right. And we're gonna and you were in the car on your phone, and like,
Simon's in the car too.
okay.
Don't fuck in my car.
We'll talk about that in a second because you're on your.
I'm super on my phone.
You're super on your phone. There's a news thing of victim clergyman Alfred Bowman speaks out against the X registry, and there's a video clip. Okay, and as it's a video clip of him, and he's speaking, and at one point he like looks directly at the camera, and there's this like momentary flash of his eyes just glow gold for a second, and then goes away.
All right.
And we're going to stop right there.
You monster.
What?
You monster.
Fucking A.
No. Like 2 more hours.
Yes, all
Simon and Colleen are finally going to talk about stuff. Maybe.
Okay,
No, stop it. No, I want to stop it.
Pull your arm.
God,
We're stopping
it's
it.
fine.
That's why it's the good place to stop.
No, I don't like waiting.
Stop it.
2 weeks.
Cliffhanger.
Medically appropriate. God damn you, Jack. It's fine.
I want to follow what the GM does. I want to follow it.
I hate you. You
So-
motherfucker.
That is issue 5 of volume 1 of Gene X. Hope you guys enjoyed watching. Hope you guys enjoyed playing.
Oh my god.
Come on. Oh.
Like
I'm obsessed with this game.
And we will see you guys in 2 weeks.
2
2
weeks.
weeks.
Bye. Thanks, guys. Check out happyjacks.org/schedule for all the upcoming games. And don't forget to go to happyjacks.org/forum. You can check out in the actual play forum. There's the GeneX, and we've all been writing like a ton of stuff.
There's like 20 pages of bonus material.
It's like the
Insights into all of these little brain meats that we have going on.
It's not necessary to understand the game. You can still follow along, but there's a lot of extra cool stuff there.
Yeah.
So,
Totally.
awesome. Thank you, guys. Bye.
Bye, guys.